Hey everybody, and welcome to a properly epic wild ride with steveo. We've got Duncan Trussell, a comedian, a podcaster, and the star of the Netflix show Midnight Gospel. But what makes it so epic? Well, I've called different episodes different things. I said that our Tiffany Haddish episode was the best one we had recorded. T-Pain, I said, was the juiciest one. Jim Jeffries, I said, was the funniest one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this episode is my personal absolute favorite of all of them that we have done to date. Why? Because I got to talk to him about stuff that I am not at all comfortable talking about with most people, and that means so much to me. We get real into hardcore drugs and spirituality, and it's all just fun and funny, and I really fell in love with this guy, and so will you. So let's get into it. Dude, I love that you got a dope-ass microphone too. So
I gotta have one. I podcast. You got one too? Sure. SM7B. It's the standard.
It doesn't help me sound any less shitty, but
we got this friend. How many times online have I been told that I sound like you?
Oh wow!
So really?
Epic.
Oh yes.
Well, hey, as they say, let's not leave it in the hall. So if you're ready, man, we'll dive right in.
Oh, I'm ready. Yeah. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Duncan Trussell.
Hello!
Yeah, dude. Allow me to introduce you to my co-host, Scott Randolph.
What's going on, DT?
Great to meet you, Scott.
Great to meet you.
And up at the front of the van, we've got the gorgeous Paul Brisske.
Hello, Duncan.
Hey,
How
Paul.
are you? What's
You're
up, man?
gorgeous.
Oh,
God,
thank you.
I'm jealous. I'm jealous. You did the thing. This is the thing. It's the ultimate thing where you put your podcast studio in the van. It's final phase. It's awesome.
Who's beat us to this? Because I was feeling pretty confident that the wild ride was all us.
Well, Tom Green.
This has been going on since before Tom started the van life. But of course, let's pay homage to the king who started podcasts in general.
Good point. Everyone.
We're all following Tom Green in some way.
I didn't mean anyone beat you to it. I just mean when you're fantasizing about the freedom around podcasting.
Yeah.
And you naturally start thinking, fuck, what if I just put the whole thing in a van and travel around the country? This is before I have kids now. I can't do that. But in the old days when I was addicted to ketamine, that was like that. I'll just put all my modular synths in the fucking thing, drive. You don't get much further than drive. It seems like it could get old. Where are you? Are you in LA?
We are. Yeah, since this is on Zoom, we're simply parked where we normally park. But I love a lot of things you just said. I really got turned on by it. Like addicted to ketamine. Fucking love ketamine. I can't have it. I can't have it anymore either. But God,
bummer too, isn't it?
It didn't bring out the best. Ticket. Yeah, I wasn't very cool on it, but I fucking thought I was.
But it felt cool.
Yeah, that's one of the weird things about ketamine is it gives you this bizarre, narcissism. It really fucks with your ability to.
Oh, dude, what it is pharmaceutical PCP. It falls in the class of drug known as dissociative.
Yeah.
And PCP is a much dirtier street version, but they have a lot in common. And,
hold on, writing down, need to try PC.
Oh my God, I was about equally out there on both. Another thing I want to zero in on that, you described the idea of putting it all into a van as the ultimate freedom, but that was so not my motivation, dude. My motivation was this whole podcast bandwagon where, dude, honestly, having a podcast is about having a fucking Instagram account these days. Everybody has one. It's embarrassing. Yeah. And because everybody has a podcast, it's always been the most annoying question that anybody could really ask me, among them anyway. Will you do my podcast? I'm thinking, okay, so will I screw up an entire day to come sit down with you and talk to ourselves?
Well, look, this is the gift of COVID, though, because to me, there was this a pretty superstitious idea floating around, which is you got to be in the room to really do a good podcast. Right. You got to smell their pheromones. You got to breathe in their musk, and then you can connect. And I think there's something to be said for that musk inhalation theory, but also Escalation theory. Yeah, this doesn't disrupt it too much.
We've had some really fucking good ones on Zoom, man. Like Tiffany Haddish had us just about crying. I mean, anybody listening to this, check out the Tiffany Haddish episode. I said it was the best one we ever did.
Are you saying that?
That's what I said at the time. Yeah, but in any case, the reason why I wanted to move it into a van was because knowing how much it's annoyed me over the years, people trying to get me on their podcast, I just had a lot of resistance to bringing that question to people myself. So I thought if I put it all into a van, then just say, hey, whenever and wherever is convenient for you, we'll just show up, you hop in, it's going, boom, get out. We'll make it so easy for you. Oh. So the idea of a portable studio was...
It's like Bang Bus.
It's a verbal Bang Bus.
Dude, you were watching Bang Bus and you're like, fuck, I think this will work for podcasts.
Yeah, like this format.
I'm so glad that you mentioned Bang Bus because back in the day...
Thank God you mentioned Bang Bus.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about this. Let me run this by all
of you guys. What's Bang Bus? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay, I'm going to run something by all of you guys right now. Yes. You tell me if my theory is correct, okay?
Okay.
Prostitution is illegal, okay? But what if on the Bang Bus you've got an ordained minister? So you get on the bus, you pick out a lady, and you ask that lady to marry you. Yeah. Now, the ordained minister officially marries you. So now you are husband and wife. You consummate the marriage on the bus, and then when you're done having sex, then you think the better of it and annul the marriage, and then you get off the bus once again unmarried. Have I not just legalized prostitution?
Well, do you pay her at some point? Does she get something into settlement?
I mean, I think that annulling the marriage, I think that out of respect, you might want to have some kind of a settlement. Yeah, you want to.
It's a divorce settlement. Yeah.
I think you've come up with your show. It's like some combination Judge Judy. I mean, you got to get a judge in there, so it's like. Right. You could have a contentious divorce. Who knows?
I mean, dude, how does that idea come about? Like Steve's like watching, Bang Bus. He's like, dude, I would marry that chick. And then he busts a nut. He's like, nah, I wouldn't want to marry that chick anymore. How do you think about that?
I don't know. I just thought. I mean, I think that my fucking theory holds water, dude. I really do.
Yeah,
I do. I think you figured it out, like for sure. And why does that have to be limited to a bus? I mean, you could have a brothel based
exactly.
It could be like a conveyor belt where, like, phase one, you get married, then you just slide along, you bang, and then you slide along to divorce court.
I mean, talk about a Vegas chapel. I mean, right, dude? Yeah. Like, you just got to move it over to Reno.
I like that.
What a cool afternoon. You get married, you fuck, you go through a bad divorce.
Yeah, that's a roller coaster of a day.
It could be a roller coaster.
I like it.
Oh, man.
Hey, can we get back to the K-hole? Because I've never been in a.
Thank you, Scott. I'm so glad.
I'm curious about it. Like, what's it like? What are your guys' like worst K experiences or like best? But when you're in a K-hole, how long does it last? What are you thinking? Are you thinking you're gonna die? Are you tripping? Or are you loving it?
I think that the general big picture answer is that it's a real moving target, man. It's like various experiences like are various. I mean, like I can, but you first, man, and I'll take it away. Let's not go for best or worst experience, but just notable.
Well, you know what? I'm going to look it up real quick and see if I can find it. The guy who invented float tanks was really into ketamine, and he actually created here it is. It's so funny he did this, but he created a dosage chart where he actually mapped the experiences out based on milligram dosages. If you look it up, just John Lilly ketamine chart. So he's got here, now I don't know, because I was like insulfating. I have no idea like what the injection, what this means compared to like snorting it. But at 30 milligrams, you've got something he's calling internal reality. 75 milligrams, which he calls 75 milligrams they, extraterrestrial reality. 150 milligrams we, the network of creation. And then 300 milligrams unknown.
Wow, dude.
Can you overdose on ketamine?
Oh, my God. I got to say, I love everything about this conversation that we're having. And I also really love the message that I have for you right now. Because well over a year ago, out of nowhere, one of my buddies said, dude, you should check out this company called Harry's. They make these awesome shaving products that don't cost so much. And I thought that's kind of weird, but I remembered it. And then lo and behold, I was in Target and I saw Harry's on the shaving aisle, sitting right next to all these other products that are really obnoxiously overpriced, which I had been wasting my money on. I thought, let me just buy it and check it out. And I swear I have been using nothing but Harry's shaving products ever since. And I love them, because they look great, they work great, and the company believes in it so much that they got 100% money back guarantee. They also have the best deal for listeners of Wild Ride with Steve-O. What's the deal? You're going to get a whole starter kit, which comes with the 5-blade razor, a weighted ergonomic handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel blade cover, which is a $13 value. I know it sounds crazy compared to all those other companies, but that's how reasonably priced they are. $13? Except you get it for $3. So how do you get it? You go to harrys.com/Steve-O to get this killer starter kit. I swear by it so much, and I love that they're sponsoring my podcast now, because I have been religiously loyal to Harry's for well over a year. I love it. You're going to love it. So get this killer deal at harrys.com/Steve-O. Thank you, Harry's, and thank you for being a listener. Now let's talk about ketamine. I'm so excited to talk to you, Duncan. I mean, honestly, I'm so excited on so many levels, and like what you just described there really, I think, reinforces my personal experiential theory that there's something absolutely spiritual in drugs, and particularly even in ketamine.
Oh God, ketamine is like one of my friends who writes all these books on the occult calls it occult cocaine. It's such a occult substance. It's something about the dissociative effect. It opens up. I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but I think I think you go into alternate universes. And
sure. Here's what I think is that like we are sort of relegated to this physical reality, physical illusion in this third dimensional sort of compartment. And I believe that when we ingest, certain chemicals and a variety of chemicals, that what we do is we essentially erode the barriers in between said apartments and kind of open ourselves up to entities from other dimensions.
Totally.
And it's a dangerous thing to do with drugs, because with drugs, those barriers that we are eroding are essentially protective in a number of ways, and by eroding the barriers we open ourselves up to sort of all things other dimensional, and that comes with a lot of like very low frequency. And low frequency Absolutely. I would categorize as demonic, like demons, and high frequency being like sort of angels. So when I was, at the end of my run with drugs and alcohol, I was like fucking routinely, and I was so excited about it because I felt privy to what was going on, like in other dimensions with spiritual beings. So I just couldn't keep piling in enough drugs to keep it happening. Like the hallucinations that I was having, both visual, like hearing the voices, audio, like tactile, where you actually feel it, and I categorized all of the experiences with these beings as demons and angels, and then the third category, which I now think of as demons, trickster spirits, where they were just straight trying to fucking entertain me, and boy did they, because like I was like sitting in a chair. I remember I was like snorting cocaine, I was inhaling nitrous oxide, I had all pills, weed, everything, and I just thought to myself, as I went to go do this line of cocaine, I just thought, there's no longevity in this, like I'm straight killing myself right now. And then I had the thought, fuck it, I don't care. Like, I don't care if I die. I had that thought. I don't care if I die. Lean over to do this line of cocaine, and the swiveling office chair that I was in, as I leaned over, it physically spun around like a big, strong dude grabbed it and spun like with the force of like a mechanical bull. And now I know intellectually for a fact that I did not actually spin. If there was a surveillance camera in my apartment, nothing would have happened. But I'm telling you, I had that experience, a very tactile experience. And there was another time sitting in that same exact chair, the whole fucking chair just straight erupted into flames. And every time I had one of these experiences, I'm like, okay, this is fucking cool. This is going on. Let me double check. Is it? Yep. I just double checked, and it's still going on. The flames all engulfing me. It's not hot. I'm perfectly comfortable, but it's just really fucking cool that I happen to be in a chair engulfed in flames. Like, I had this skateboard screwed to the wall. So it was, vertical, right? And I had a globe screwed to the skateboard. So the globe was protruding over the doorway to the apartment, horizontally. And I like the fucking liquid Terminator. I watched that globe, like my own face, like pushed through it. Like it was the liquid Terminator.
Yeah,
You
man.
could see my face push through it, and then fucking it just started fucking headbanging, boom, 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 and I'm like, fucking right on, I had these curtains that were just on their own, open and close and open and close.
Yeah.
Where that wasn't possible, there were lights that were never fucking there that was just flashing, like it just turned into a fucking rave. All this stuff was going on, and I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing. I just have to keep doing more and more drugs.
Yeah.
That's
the problem. See, this is what I love about Ram Dass. One of my teachers is Ram Dass. You've heard of him? This guy.
It rings a bell.
He was hanging out with Tim Leary at Harvard, and they were the professors. They got kicked out of Harvard because they were taking LSD and giving LSD to the students, and because they were interested at first because they were both like really brilliant psychologists. And this was a new substance, and they thought they had sort of discovered what was going to be the next phase of human evolution, or a nootropic that was going to completely accelerate the civilization. They get kicked out of Harvard. At the time, Ram Dass's name was Richard Alpert. And so they're exactly where any of us have been, where we're running into this seemingly built into the matrix inhibition thing that they currently, what do they call it? Tolerance. And so they're literally drinking LSD, like Sandoz Laboratory 1960s LSD, out of vials, like liquid LSD, drinking it because
not even droppers. Because I did a dropper.
Sipping it
Shots
out of
of it.
shit. Sipping. Yes. I'm not. Look, it's crazy. There's a great book called The
Martinis.
Harvard Psychedelic Club. Yeah, because they were on acid. You do get a tolerance really fast.
Yeah, you do.
But they were running into the same problem, and so Alpert goes to India with a shit ton of acid that Owsley, have you ever heard of Owsley, the bear? He's like the dancing bears on the Grateful Dead. Shit, that's Owsley's nickname. He was the LSD chemist of the Dead,
Wow.
Steely Dan, Kid Charlemagne. It's a whole song written about him.
Oh, wow.
It's he's this famous. I know someone who went with him delivering acid in San Francisco and said, "Pete, these fucking hippies, they'd come out of their house and they call it pranayama. I think pranayama. They'd fully bow, prostrating to him. Which is why there's a line in the Steely Dan song, which is did you feel like Jesus? Because he was blowing everyone's mind. Anyway, he makes a special batch for Alpert, who takes it to India to give to people who've been meditating for, their whole lives, and ask them, what the fuck is this? And, some people loved it. Some people said, this is a waste of time. But he meets his guru. This is one of the famous, crazy fucking stories. And his guru says to him, you have something you want to give me. Give it to me. What do you have? And so he gives him this fucking powerful acid to this old man in a blanket who eats it, and no reaction. Nothing happens. He gives him something for us, for me, that's fetal position, 500 micrograms. That's weeping fetal position. What have I done? I'm never coming down. No response, no reaction. Alpert gets back to the United States, is telling his psychologist friends this story. They're like, you got swindled. He palmed it. He palmed it. He obviously didn't fucking eat. No one's eating 500 micrograms of LSD and having zero reaction. Physiologically impossible. So the next time he's with this guy, Neem Karoli Baba was his name, he says to him, the last time you were here, did you give me something? And he said, yeah, because this guy was telepathic, man. There's no other way to put it. And he goes, what did you give me? What did you give me? And he said, LSD. And he said, did I eat it? Do you think I really ate it? Because he knows he's thinking you didn't really eat it. And he's like, give me more, give me more. So he gives him a massive doom dose, I don't know how many capsules. These are capsules of this stuff.
Wait, what does a capsule look like?
You mean when you get the, it's in, like a Flintstones
fucking pill.
Okay.
It's a pill, a dyed pill is the substrate the shit's in. So he's holding it in his hand, taking one, chewing it, taking the other, chewing it, taking the other, chewing it. Then he opens his mouth. So he sees his tongue is just covered in blue. And then he now I know people who saw this from the other perspective, because Ram Dass told this story a bunch. It's a cool story. But basically he goes under his blanket and he starts shaking like he's having a seizure, moaning oh! And Al Ramdas is like, oh fuck, I just basically just killed an old Indian. Like I just killed him. I killed my guru. I broke an old Indian man who like was like trying to like flex on me or something. And so then after doing this for a little while, I know people who saw Ram Dass who was like about to cry, face pale, probably thinking about lawsuits, probably thinking about like how the Indian authorities might arrest me for this shit. Like, and then he like comes out of his blanket and he's like smiling. Goes about his business completely fine. He was just fucking with it. You're just fucking with him. Like, is this what you wanted me to do? Is this like what you were hoping for? Did you want to see something like that? But anyway, he says to him at the end of this day, he says to him, we used to have something like this in the Indus Valley. He said, this will bring you into the presence of Christ, but the problem is you can't stay there with this. And it was like just the most brilliant articulation of the problem with these substances, which is like, it's affirming what we all already know. Holy fuck. It's showing me what's inside the Ark of the Covenant. Like I'm seeing past the veil and it's real. Whether or not sober people or people who've never tripped want to believe that, what can we do? But it's real. It's something. You're seeing something more than just like mashing your brain. But also you can't fucking stay there because it's like we're in school here. We got to go to school here right now. Like that's what we're doing here. You don't get to play hooky too much. It's like built in to not, it doesn't work out.
Do you think that like we've had past lives and that we've spiritually evolved to this point? Or do you think like this is something that we get one life and then...
I mean, come on, dude. That's a rookie question. Of course we've had thousands of lives. Yeah, and let me tell you about a rookie move that you might be pulling without even realizing it. Paying full price for your Netflix subscription, but only accessing a fraction of the content that they actually offer. And how does that happen? Well, based on your IP address, Netflix will serve you domestic programming. If you're in America, you get the US content. But when you run out of stuff that you want to watch, what do? You get ExpressVPN, and now all of a sudden you can change your IP address to any of 90 different countries that they offer, and when you do that, boom, you're now magically accessing all kinds of great content that Netflix is only serving to other countries. It makes you get a whole lot more value for your Netflix subscription and all your other streaming platforms for that matter. Now, I'm going to offer you an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. How do you get it? You go to expressvpn.com/steveo. That's expressvpn.com/steveo. You get a 1-year subscription and now call that a year and 3 months. Thanks to me. Yeah, dude. So go to expressvpn.com/steveo, sign up and get privacy when you're surfing the web and 90 different countries to be in to get all kinds of extra content. Yeah, dude. Thank me later. Don't be a rookie. Get ExpressVPN now.
But not a lot of people think that.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
I think
here's the thing. There's so much irrefutable proof of reincarnation that it's kind of laughable for anybody to not believe in it. Would you agree with that?
I love you. How sweet is that? You're like, no, this is proven. You're like Carl Sagan over there. No, we've got the charts. I mean, obviously, I do believe in it. And like I have a method for understanding it just based on my own like various incarnations of my own life, you know? Like if you look back at all the phases you've been through and, you know, every single one of you've gone through so many fucking phases.
For sure.
Like I went through like a mild Smiths phase. I was wearing like a coat and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like but to me, it was real. That was almost like a different life or like, you know, when I was in high school, certainly my concerns were so different from now and also like my physical form. So when you look at like just forget like before we're born and after we die, if you just look at the general human existence, there's so many lives in any human life.
Sure.
I mean, people are reincarnating all the fucking time.
Right.
And so I think that, you know, whether or not there's some continuance, I think there is. I know it's not. I don't imagine it to be provable.
I agree with you.
What's the proof you're talking about,
I mean,
Steve?
just like the people who, particularly when they're babies, they'll just like say weird shit and then they'll check it, you know, and
yeah, there's that like 4-year-old that like
and
predicted her past death and they found the place where
like little kids will be looking at pictures and they'll be like, oh well, that's when I was doing this. And they're looking at the picture of like a dead grandfather and then everything they say checks out. So
yeah, full disclosure, I mean, I agree with you, Duncan. I was just trying to get the clickbait. You know, Duncan Trussell talks about past lives. You know, I mean,
right now,
holy fuck, Really? You're like the Machiavelli of podcasts. Really? That's awesome, man. Wow.
Here's the problem with reincarnation. I think it's a great number of people are tripped up over this
because of religion.
Well, no, it's there's a numbers problem with it. You know, like if we are reincarnated, then how do you factor in the ever growing population? Are some
I solved it.
Are some souls new and are some souls recycled? And
multiverse.
Yeah, I think sure. I think that when you factor in all of the dimensions that we're not privy to, and then when you factor in the fact that even like a fleeting thought is essentially a life, you know, like there's such. And then,
you guys are like kindred spirits, dude.
And then when you bring into it like the crazy fucking quantum physics shit, where it's like every single possible outcome of every single possible situation is all simultaneously happening, and there is no such thing as right now, and all is right now. Like then it gets really crazy, and you don't have to worry about the numbers game anymore.
Then it works. But that is a valid. Also, God, man, this is like one of the only times I really broke through on DMT at Burning Man. I like did the thing and went into the thing that everyone talks about, and I was in the fucking thing, and you know, but I had this sense of like, oh, I could like completely like obliviate myself here, somehow merge with the universe. Obviously not true. I've never heard of anyone dying on DMT, but that DMT, not a voice, but you know, whatever it is, said, oh, you can always go back. You can always go back to that moment if you want. And then ever since then, I sort of revised my idea of reincarnation being a thing that starts with your birth and ends with your death. And now I see it more as like probably upon like dropping your body, or as they call it in the East, you might be able to like actually choose frames of your incarnation that you want to jump back into and start your life there, meaning that at any given moment, like future versions of you are sort of pouring into the current version of you just to experience life from this point going forward. But you would never know that because it's you, and they just sort of resonate with you. I mean, I think the primitive idea of reincarnation is that you die and you get a break. That's a funny one. Like a lot of New Agers have this spa theory where you fucking get hit by a car and suddenly you're like floating in like some, you know, hyperdimensional spa water. Like, I think the next life I want to be paralyzed from the neck down. That'll be awesome.
Sure.
Really,
the blueprint.
I'm sorry. What if it's not like that? What if it's just you die and you open your eyes and you're like in your 40s going through a divorce? There's no space. There's no rest. There's no anything. And you just have a little deja vu. You're like, what the fuck was that?
Sure.
What happened was you just came back into a new life with full amnesia of what you used to be.
Sure. Amnesia is a big deal. And I have no problem with any of that. I want to run by you two things. And then I want you to tell me if you think I'm a genius or if this is just completely idiotic. But
what if I already think you're a genius?
Okay, good. I really think I kind of figured something out with this, because the idea of like, how did it all begin? It's just a stupid question. Oh, there was Big Bang. All right, well, what banged? You know, like, okay, there you come up with something that banged. All right, well, where did that thing come from? You know, you keep going back and like, so the concept of linear time is clearly a flawed idea, right? And I at one point I was smoking some pot, I was writing an email, and I felt like I figured it out. I said, you know, there was a time when humans thought the world was flat. And they were actually terrified to get in their boats and go too far because they were legitimately scared that their boat would fall off the end of the world and that they would perish. So then I just equated that. I said, you know, like, I believe we will come to a point where it is equally ridiculous to think of time as flat, such that there's a beginning or an end that you could fall off of. When in fact, just like the world, time is round, dude. You know, it's a cycle. Yeah. And
I know, man.
I mean, and if you think of it that way, then what was before that? What was before that? Nothing was before that, because it's a fucking cycle. It's round. It doesn't begin or end. And that's one. Yeah. That was one little sort of thought that I had that I was pretty proud of. Now I've got one more, which is that the idea of the body and death. Now, we've heard the saying that we're not human beings having a spiritual experience, but rather we're spiritual beings having a human experience. Yes. Now, to give the idea of like when we die, we awaken to eternal life, you know, that actually we're eternal, you know, and all of this. I liken, especially because we're multi-dimensional beings. So like we absolutely exist in all of these. We're just not aware of it because when we incarnate in this physical body, we kind of make a deal that we forget that we're spirits. So we don't know what the fuck's going on, and we certainly do wake up at the moment of death. But now to look at death and what it really represents, the theory that I came up with was to imagine that the soul, so to speak, is like a fucking like a radio wave kind of a deal. The body is essentially like a radio that picks up that you know. Now I think that the flaw in our view of the human brain is that the human brain, the human body, is a generator of consciousness. You know, like a transmitter. It generates the consciousness like you know, like a transmitter would. But I don't see it that way. I see the human body, the brain, as a receiver of the signal which is out there. So now you to make it a metaphor, you could take a radio that's like dialed in to like a certain station, like 106.7, right? Now you can take that fucking physical radio and you can take a sledgehammer to it. You can smash it. You can destroy it. Destroy that body into oblivion. But you have done nothing to interrupt or kill the signal. So what we are is that we're the receiver of the signal. You know, we're the receiver of the signal. You can shoot yourself in the head. All you're doing is killing the radio. You're not fucking with the signal, man. And the signal is forever, dude. And on top of that, there's so many stations, dude. There's limit, and you can plug that station into a different fucking radio later on down the line, and there's your reincarnation and shit.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I thought about this, the receiver idea. It's particularly wrapped around like, you know, when you meet someone who's all puffed up and shit, and it's like, it's a quality of confusion, I think. You know, it's like if there were a sentient radio and it was playing the Beatles, it would be easy for the radio to be like, I'm fucking amazing. Like, literally.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah.
So I think people get a little confused regarding their identity in that regard.
Oh, dude, that's another great layer on top. That just takes another step further. I fucking love that.
It's entanglement is what they call it. You know, we're entangled in this situation. And and like in Buddhism, it's this is sort of the map of how to sort of predict what your next life is going to be. What they say is, well, look at what you're doing now, and that'll give you some idea of where you're headed. And it's because it's momentum based essentially. So it's like whatever this particular frequency is, it has this kind of momentum to it. The momentum is karma, and so that momentum has been going on for, you know, millennia. Incalculable. This was actually one of my like ketamine visions. Was I was seeing my past lives. I couldn't specifically see him, but I knew somehow like what I was looking at was all my past lives, and there was so many of them. And they looked like fish eggs, kind of floating in space. Just all these ways my karma had expressed itself. But yeah, it's like, so this is why there is this emphasis on meditation, and people get confused about the statement. Meditation is the preparation for death. And what it means is like there is an acknowledgement of exactly what you're saying. The body is finite, but there's this sort of transmission that is your soul that's never going to stop. And so when you die, it's I mean, just have you ever met like a healthy? I mean, unless you're like lucky and you just get hit, you're like jogging in a marathon, get hit by a fucking car or something. You know, probably you get sick. When people are dying, they get really sick and confused. Usually they're in a lot of pain. Then they start taking the morphine. Then they sort of like, and if you've seen someone die, it's nuts because they like literally they lift off of that thing you're talking about. Like it's like watching an airplane take off, only it's taking off from time, not the earth. And so they're spiraling through, like they're talking to their mom, and then they're talking to like, you know, somebody that they knew, and you have no idea who they're talking to, but it's because they're spiraling through time because they're breaking free. But the momentum. So the idea here is like you want to die with some tranquility and some peace, because if you can handle it, which is some of these Tibetan lamas, they describe it as like being in a snowstorm. It's so confusing. So if you can maintain some element of being calm, then there is a possibility of at the very least like having a little bit more control over what your next life might be, instead of it being like what it is for what it is for a lot of people, which is like terrifying. And the description is like suddenly you don't have a body. You've had a body all this fucking time. And it's like, what the fuck? I need a body, because that's what you're familiar with. and then you kind of you impatiently race into your parents, which, by the way, which is something really cool in the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is what they read to like monks who've died to guide them into the next life. You know, the idea is you see all these people fucking, not to go back to Bang Bus or anything, but it's like you literally see a field within which there's all these people fucking. And it's weirdly like, it's like porn. It's like the one that turns you on the most, you go to that. So basically you were watching your parents fuck and you're like, that's fucking hot. I want to get in on that. And you like go into that. And then the next thing you know, you're their kid. And this is wow. This is why in this life we're so into sex and fucking and all that, because it's like that same momentum that brought us here, you know, continues. It's all momentum. It's really fascinating. It's a really fascinating take on what happens when you die.
Well, it's crazy.
Scott over here is just straight addicted to YouTube videos about people
like near-death experiences and like their experiences, what happened when they die. And I've been fascinated with that for years.
And it's weird because in the near-death experiences sort of community and all of these people telling their stories about it, there's a lot of common ground, man. You know, you really, like, there's a lot that adds up and it becomes credible because everyone's describing the same thing. I've never heard about the watching people fucking part, but, like, I've heard about, like, they talk about a spirit guide, you know, comes and you feel compelled that you want to like
go with it.
Go with your. They say go with your spirit guide, you know, like go with your spirit guide. It's also really fascinating how like the
life review.
Yeah, the life review, dude, where you can like. I mean, dude, there's like, are we agreed that life review is like. We can just call that a fact because like all of the accounts of it are also like.
Well, have you ever had like have you guys ever had like a life review in the drug experience where you go through like different situations? Because like in the near death experience, people have these life reviews, and they're like feeling how the person felt that you talk shit to, and but I want to bring that up because like I'm so fascinated with your fascination with life reviews.
Life review is the most crucial thing. If anybody hasn't heard this term, you can look it up. What it is that like at the moment of death, like, you know, they say it in rock songs or whatever, poems, like your life flashes before your eyes. Yeah. Now, that saying about when you die, your life flashes before your eyes, like, as it's described in people who have had the experience and then, like, died, had their life review, and then come back. And like... Yeah,
they're completely changed because they're like, fuck, I've caused that much damage. Right,
you experience your entire life. Like, you could say your life flashes before your eyes. It happens in a moment, but it also happens in super slow-mo. Like, time's just not even... You re-experience your entire life in this flash with like super consciousness, like the consciousness of like the whole, like basically God, even if you don't like that term, but like you go through your whole life and you personally experience from the perspective of every thing that you had an influence over, and with the detail of that, if there is a mosquito like off, like you know, further than the eye can see, like you have the experience of being that mosquito. Like the idea of oneness becomes an experience where you actually, like, you're no longer separated. So you review your whole life, and it's not for the purpose of punishing you for like the harm that you've done to others. It's just for the experience. So it becomes real, like, oh my God. And the common denominator in having this life review is that everybody who comes back to being human, everyone who comes back to life, now they are so overwhelmingly concerned with not fucking over other people. They are no longer concerned with material things. Like, they are like totally changed, and in such a way. And like, I've seen so many, like, just been so fascinated with this life review thing that I like to think I don't even need to have a life review to just trust that that's the truth and just do not fuck with other people. Be generous.
Well,
like,
it's crazy.
Clean up your messes, you know, like. Yeah.
It's crazy because the two common denominators that people have, I mean, like thousands and thousands of people, like 90% of them come back and get a divorce, and then the other ones come back and they can't wear watches because watches don't work.
What?
Yeah.
I never heard the watch.
Watches don't work.
They're like, well, they can't wear a watch because it always breaks.
Holy shit, we've added another fucking part of the roller coaster that you were talking about in the beginning. Like, before the divorce, we put him under. Like, we kill him and then bring him back to life.
I mean, dude, and like, there's a really good example of a guy who had a near-death experience, and there's a documentary about it. Is that the one called I Am? But the dude who directed all the, like, just monstrously successful Jim Carrey movies.
Tom Shadyac?
Yeah. Yeah, this guy was like private jets, like fucking look at my fucking huge mansion. This guy was just so tens of millions of dollars for like every movie, and he was just cranking them out. So he just had obnoxious amounts of money. Then at some point he was riding his bicycle, had like a hellacious wipeout riding his bicycle, and in that wipeout like had like where he died, had the near death experience, came back from it, and the dude ever since. I don't know if he gave everything away, but like lives in a fucking trailer in a trailer park in Malibu. Like just has no fucking interest whatsoever in like the lifestyle that he had. Like he's a good example of like how near-death experiences like change people. You know. And,
man, I volunteered at a hospice called Rose Room Hospice in LA for a little bit, and the guy who was like came to tell us how to like be with dying people. He was one of those people. He had a shit ton of money. He fucking died. He went the whole thing, the life review, the whole thing. Didn't want to come back. That's the other commonality. Yeah. People are like, no thanks, I'm done. It's like, no, you're not done. You're going back, and you go back, and like
it's painful going back into the body.
Yes. Well, what he said is what's over there makes this where we're at seem like death compared to that other place. Like we're in I think he called it a warp. Like he said, we're in a time warp when you're alive, and the other side is so wonderful. Yeah. It's more of the spa theory of things. I hope that's the case. I really do. I want that to be the reality versus like the other versions of it, which have justice built into them. You know, a kind of like mathematical justice. And maybe the life review is enough. Maybe if you do the life review. Yeah. And that is the penance, is like experiencing the way that you made everyone feel, and and that's all you need. That's the purification or something. But I mean it's so mysterious, but I do think it's like pretty incredible the way that regardless of culture, regardless of what your religious background is, you're gonna have the same experience when you die. That's one of the things the NDE experts talk about, is it's like it doesn't matter if you're Hindu, Jewish, whatever it may be. It's the life review, it's the light, it's all the things that you hear about, and it seems to transcend culture, which is another implication that, you know, it's something real, or if not real, the cynical version of it as well. It's something built into us. It's
crazy. Like you hear like a life or like a near-death experience story of like a 60-year-old woman that goes to church every day, you know, and she dies and comes back, and they're like, well, are you still a Christian? She's like, no, not at all. Like it has nothing to do with that, you know. And then, you know, just hearing that from that perspective, you're like, fuck, man, like there's something out there. You know,
I mean, it's more there's something in here, you know, like the idea of space and time is just such an illusion. But yeah,
the documentary that I did, the whole thing was like I went to India to go meditate, to go find like this thing I'm seeking, and like I read this thing from Emerson that said, you know, nate quasi veris extra, and it doesn't really tell you what that is, and I looked it up, and it was it's Latin for do not seek outside yourself. And I just had that. It's like, dude, I didn't have to go 15,000 miles to India to find any answers. Like you can just do it from the wild ride van, you know, or just kind of.
Sure. Well, that's the classic archetype. Like you had it in you all along, you know, like we're drawn to those kinds of stories.
Yep.
Yeah. It's also like we can't have this spiritual fucking tourism right now. I mean, it's like, to me, like the ironic thing about spiritual tourism, when you're doing the thing, you get in the plane, you fly to wherever you think the holy people are. Going to the Amazon to take ayahuasca is like, as you're flying over the Amazon, you're just like dumping jet fuel on top of the place where you're going to go have your spiritual experience.
That's so funny.
So I think that's a real great epiphany you had, because especially these days, I don't know that. I think there's a bit of an illusion in all of that. That being said, if Ram Dass didn't go to India with a bunch of acid, I think I wouldn't be as happy a person now, because because of his experiences there. But maybe the idea is they already did that, so now we don't have to do it. You know, the data's out there, right, ready for you if you want to sort of pick up some path or discipline.
I just have to say that, like, your comment that it would be easy for the radio, which is simply transmitting or receiving a signal of the Beatles, to be like, dude, I'm fucking rad. It's like, dude, the radio getting all proud of itself for the signal it's picking up.
Thinking it's the Beatles. The radio thinks it's the Beatles.
They're taking credit.
And then next is Led Zeppelin. You're just strutting down the street.
I'm fucking, dude. That's my favorite thing. And as far as too, like the commonality of all of the life review and all these experiences, like I think that I do want to give some credit to, I believe, every like religious writing, every like spiritual way of life, for even though like it's all so perverted and you know, like just messed up over time, I think there's a common ground in all of it, in that the concept of oneness, you know, that God is omnipresent, that we are all like sort of different expressions of the divine, and that separation is an illusion, you know. And I try to explain this to people, like, and I can't, but maybe you can help me figure it out. And I got this from Neil Donald Walsh. I'm a huge fan of the Conversations with God book series. And
shit, I got it. Okay, that's the last straw, man. I'm gonna put this on my list. I've heard about this book so many times. I haven't read it yet.
It's the best.
So right under try PCP. Read Conversations with God. Got it.
Dude, Conversations with God, and all, like, I'll just, it was a big fucking deal for me, you know. Like, I don't talk about it too much, but my mom in 1998 suffered an aneurysm where like she had like a capillary like burst and brain hemorrhage. It was a subarachnoid brain hemorrhage, and it was like almost like the most tragic thing about it was that she survived, because she was like heinously disabled, both mentally and physical. And on top of that, she got bed sores, and bed sores are the worst fucking thing. I think they happen to defenseless fucking people who are helpless, and they're the most like my mom, like, and she survived for 5 years. And like the reason I don't talk about it a lot is because I just don't like to bum people out. But my mom cried. You know, she cried. She when my mom said my bottom, it was so hard for me. And I developed. I got really angry. I got really angry at any God that could allow for that experience. You know, like, fuck whatever God, let that fucking happen. You know, and you can, this is my personal take on it. You could be like, oh, fuck any God that let the Holocaust happen. You could, like, the world is rife with examples of, like, if you want to be mad at God, you know. But now here's where Conversations with God really helped me a lot, was that the premise of it is that God is everything, you know. But God as one singular unit, which is what we would refer to as God in the absolute. The realm of the absolute is devoid of experience, because there's only like the one thing. So, you know, that's why we call it a relationship. You have to have separate things for one thing to relate to another thing. That is the realm of the relative. And so God as the absolute is perfection, is pure love, but without any experience of such. So God in the absolute, and this would be creation, has to divide itself into separate things such that there can be experience, which stems from relativity, one thing relating to another. And it is in that division where God divides itself into separate things for the purpose of experience. So the premise of Conversations with God is that all of creation, all of us, everything that exists in the realm of the relative is specifically an exercise in God experiencing itself. And by that view, then now I can look at it like my anger at God was based on a flawed premise that God was somehow over here and allowed this terrible thing to happen to my mom, who was over there. Whereas, like, in the idea that this is how people react to Wendy's like, I'm out of here.
You're reacting like that.
Right. But the idea that it's not God was over there and mom, but mom was an expression of God. You know, and it's not up to me to understand why mom's experience was valuable on any level. I mean, to be fair, it was also a natural law of cause and effect. Mom didn't take care of herself very well. You know, and you can't chalk everything up to cause and effect, because a lot of bad things happen. But the idea that mom was God. God wasn't over there letting it happen, you know, like God,
Yes.
mom was God. God had that experience. God didn't leave her out there, you know,
But
like
you-
we're all God. And the idea that God divides itself into all these separate things so that it can have the experience of itself, then now all of a sudden I by adopting that theory, I look at you, I look at everyone, I look at the guy who fucking cut me off in traffic, and I gotta remember, oh yeah, we are God divided. We're all equally divine. And it's going to come out in the life review. It's going to come out in the life review that like it all comes back together, and now we actually have the experience as God of all the shit we did. So anything I do to you, I'm doing to myself. Anything, and like that makes us all equal. There's no better or worse. We're all God. And then if you can just adopt that theory, which I took from conversations with God, now that just there is no room for hatred, there is no room for selfishness. It just doesn't allow, because we're all God.
You know what Ram Dass calls? He says we're all God in drag, and it's a cool way to put it. But like I love. There's a form of yoga called Bhakti yoga. It's what the Hare Krishnas do, but they're only one example of it. And what's really interesting about it is it's a breakdown of like exactly what you're saying, and you know, the detailed way that only like 5,000 years of thinking about this concept could bring, you know. And so there's a name for it, of course. The name, and I think I'm mispronouncing it, but it's something like Asinka Beta Tattva, which means simultaneous oneness and difference. So that's the description of Krishna. And then what's really cool about it, and not to say, okay, now you all have permission to be an asshole or whatever, but what's really cool about it is that any relationship with God is going to evolve you over time. So in other words, if you are truly angry at God, because that is a connection to the divine via anger, and because the divine, Krishna, is the source of all love, or the reservoir of pleasure. There's so many beautiful names to describe Krishna, because that's what you're connecting to with anger. That's going to start coming into you through the anger. So the anger you get, which is why the more your connection to that grows. So in the mythology, the worst demons who are trying to destroy Krishna out of just, you know, various forms of rage or anger, some of them may be justified, maybe not, they end up becoming the great disciples. They end up becoming the like true like best friends and associates of God. Because
oh my God, Donald Trump is the coming of Jesus.
He's an incarnation of him.
They were right.
The heavy duty, because the problem is, like, you know, anybody who's getting the thoughts you're getting, it's wonderful, because it means that you're on the way, you're on the path, and it's beautiful. A lot of people, they don't have these thoughts. Like, they're in the description you were giving earlier about the various entities you encounter in the astral realm is in the Bhagavad Gita. They break it down about, you know, I think there's an entire chapter dedicated to what is a demon, what's a demonic personality, and the description is it's very sad. Because what's happened is someone is completely ignorant of where happiness comes from. So whenever you run into someone like the person you were mentioning who died and suddenly he's living in a trailer, pre-living in the trailer, they've gotten confused. They think the material stuff is going to satisfy them. Fucking, it's like exactly your experience when you find yourself like, okay, if I do the right amount of blow, nitrous oxide, and like get all these things simultaneously to happen, then freedom. And it's really sad. It creates a feedback loop, you know? And so people like potentially Donald Trump or anybody who's become so consumed in themselves as the radio, it's a never ending, terrible cycle that they go through. It's almost like some horrific Groundhog's Day. And so, which is where the compassion for them comes in, because it's like, fuck, you're wasting the whole thing. Like you're pretending. The gross depiction that it gives is like, imagine a dog that is so diseased, all its teeth have fallen out. It's found a dry bone on the street. It's chewing on the dry bone. And because it has no teeth, its gums are getting cut up by the dry bone, but it's happy because it thinks that its own blood is coming from meat on the bone. So it's actually like drinking its own blood and being like, oh, what a juicy bone. This is the predicament a lot of people get into, which is why, you know, anytime, that's a weird, you know, very cliche experience probably everyone here has had, where you run into someone who seemingly has it all, and they're the most wretched, desperate, depressed, thing that you've ever run into. And it's like, you don't even know how to help them because, they're so fixated on the next, what's around the corner. Like, okay, well, it didn't work to have the mansion and the yacht and then the other yacht and then the jet. And I fucked so many people. They're getting in shape from fucking. People are like getting like weird Bruce Lee bodies and they just fuck. It's from fucking, but it's not working. That's the problem. It's not working.
Empty inside.
They're humping a leg. They're humping a cosmic leg. It's just as pathetic as watching a horny dog hump a leg.
Let me throw this at you. Like the idea of the materialism doesn't work and everything. And I think that but before I got sober, I had no confidence that I was certain that I was gonna die young, go out in flames. It was just a matter of time, and what made me cool was that I was resigned to that. So I didn't care about making smart business decisions. I didn't care about if I knew what was going on with the bank account. I didn't give a fuck about getting screwed over in contracts because I was in this. I wasn't gonna live forever, but I was gonna be remembered forever because I was such a fucking bitch in radio, And then I got clean and sober. And all of a sudden started taking care of myself. Now, in sort of early sobriety, it's like, okay, so now I'm actually did make it past 30 years old, and now I'm taking care of myself, and fuck, now I might actually live for, now I might not even be halfway through my fucking life.
Yeah.
Oh shit, is that scary? I think that death is super easy. Death has to be easy. Otherwise, we don't have much to look forward to. God, death has got to be cool. It's living that's hard, man. Yeah. And all of a sudden, I'm still not really afraid of death. I'm afraid of the fucking, oh my God, I've got all this living to do. So now, I got to actually get clever about business. Now I got to actually save up because, what I don't want to, And on top of that, I'm through and through, I'm an attention whore, man. And and nobody wants to contemplate, let alone really ponder or really get obsessed with the idea of mortality, right? People just don't. In the East, totally easy. Old people are cool, take care of them. But in the West, you mentioned hospice. Probably a lot of fucking people in the West don't even know the definition of a word hospice, because they don't even fucking want to know. They don't want to think about it. They got their fucking blinders on. And la 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 la. I don't want to even fucking think about dying. Not gonna happen. And I don't want to look at an old people because to be old is a fucking party foul. You're reminding me of my mortality, and that's not cool. So so being old is a party foul, and to be an old attention whore is the scariest fucking, to be to absolutely, to have an overdeveloped need for attention as an old fucking wrinkly old person is the scariest proposition I could possibly fucking imagine. And that's where sobriety for me represented, okay, I need to have some separation between my persona. I can't identify with Steve-O, the personality. I gotta have some build an identity as just who I am, and relationships what really matters. But my question is, what I'm getting to you with is that it's such, I intellectually, philosophically, I absolutely subscribe to the idea of material things don't work, but then again, at the same time, I'm a hustler, man. I'm a hustler, and I'm trying to fucking run as many businesses as I can. I'm trying to I'm looking for businesses which specifically represent a way out of the attention whore business, so that I can be an old person and not worry about where the fucking next meal's coming from. So it's such, and I got my daily meditation, dude. I do mantra-based meditation. I make sure I average 41 minutes every day.
Wow.
20. Yeah, I've done it for, dude. A few days ago, my little thing.
Go ahead and show the camera, dude.
All right.
I know you want to do that.
I'll show you where I'm at. I have meditated for 535 straight days, averaging 41 minutes.
Wow.
Since December 27th of 2019, I have spent 366 hours and 38 minutes meditating. Now,
amazing.
I don't transcend really too much, but the fact that I actually have the discipline to sit still and quiet and try, I think is it's a big deal, And I attribute how well my life is going now with my disciplined meditation practice.
When he goes to Gelson's, he's floating 2 feet above the ground.
but I mean, but I get the daily meditation. I really am I'm devout about being vigilant and disciplined in my meditation practice. And I really, really believe that this meditation practice and the regularity of it, never missing twice a day, that I believe, and I know this is like fucking kind of a weird thing to say, but I believe it brings about a relationship with the universe such that the universe conspires in my favor. Call me a freak, but I don't care, because I fucking hang on to that and I fucking ride with it. And I really feel like I benefit from it. But at the same time, I can read every spiritual reading about how like it's not the material things. And I'm like, okay, but I'm going to fucking hustle. I'm going to try to make as much money as I can so that I don't have to worry about shit.
There's a funny verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is describing the people that come to him. And one of the descriptions is the seekers after gold. And because if we're going to start working with the idea that every single thing around you is an expression of the divine, then suddenly the whole like sacred and profane idea, it goes out the window. Like now we're just dealing with various forms of energy and our own karmic attraction to this form or that form. And so what ends up happening is people get confused. Like people, especially about Buddhism, they start thinking it's some sort of passive thing where you sort of hang everything up and then you're just sitting around and your whole life becomes sort of like a mistake, or everything you wanted and all that stuff was like an immature thing. I think this is a misconception, because I really think like the invitation is not to like give up your life. The invitation is live your life as you, but really live it, because if when you look back at the unconscious way you were living, I think many people would think you were fucking very ambitious, even though if you're a nihilist or whatever, you're very ambitious. But whenever I look back at like unconscious periods, none of it mattered. Like I wasn't there anyway. So the idea is like you can be in your own life. And one of my friends, I remember like very sympathetically, he put his hand on my shoulder. He's like, you just have to burn off all the karma. There's no way out of it. Meaning all those desires, all those things you want, all that stuff. It's like you still have that, and it's still your soul wanting to express itself into the universe. But now the idea is do it mindfully. There's a big difference between my meditation teacher tells me like, here's how you drink. When you're drinking, the moment you aren't aware that you're drinking anymore, stop drinking for the night. That's one way to do it. Meaning like, and if you try that, it's impossible. If you're like us, which is like 3-4 sips, I'm not doing fucking mindful drinking because the demon is coming to me. And now it's like, I want more Moscow mules. Yeah. I don't even know why. But there is a way. I think all I'm saying is don't be hard on yourself, because fuck, man, you're absolutely right. And also, if you read some of the Ray Kurzweil shit, watch out. The whole human lifespan might be like a lot more than we even think right now. If and it would be a decision-based thing, but you think you're thinking like, I'm going to kick the bucket when I'm 80 or whatever. 70.
I don't know. That's the scariest idea.
What if it's 160? What if it's 200? What if it's 500?
Yeah, you're only 5% of the way there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think that, and also the contemplation of death is, as I've been taught, like very important. And some people say, carry death on your shoulder.
100%.
Carry death. Yeah,
100%, dude. To live with your blinders on, pretending that I don't want to think about I'm going to die. I'm just going to pretend that that's not a thing. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a second. I could have made that like the forefront of my consciousness and be deliberate about living the life you want to have lived when it's over. Like,
but you got initiated. It seems like into like some people. You and I'm sure you have friends who are bitching about their mom or whatever sometimes. And you and I, when we hear that, at least there's a piece of me that's like, must be nice to be pissed off at your fucking mom, because like once your mom's gone, that's it. My friend put it the best way. He's like, it's like the salt goes out of your soup forever. Or like Doug Stanhope talks about, I heard him say something like, there's no one to call and fucking brag to about shit. Like in the way you came with your mom, it's just gone. It's gone. And so, but that's impermanence. And when we lose our parents, and especially the way you lost your mom, my mom got diagnosed with cancer and then died over about 4 years. But I had 4 good years with her knowing she was going to die. Yeah. But what happened to you was and so many other people, it's just one day, for whatever reason, that vein capillary burst. And that's the end of your experience with your mom as you knew her for your entire life. Gone. forever. And this is the human reality. This is what it's like to be alive. And it's I compare it to The Blinders. I think of it as like we've all been thrown out of a fucking plane. We're plummeting towards the fucking ground. Full speed ahead into God knows fucking what. And a lot of us, we've like set a nice dinner table and we're like eating and talking. And anytime someone's like, hey, aren't we falling into the void? They're like, shut the fuck up! Talk about the fucking void! Eat your fucking mashed potatoes!
Oh my God, dude. We can do this forever, man. What a joy. What a fucking joy,
What a
man.
joy.
Thank you. I really have enjoyed this. And of course, I'm in my head thinking like, or is it like, did I fucking should I just shut the fuck up and not talk so much? Like,
I loved every second of it, man. No. This whole thing is like, it's because the other thing about the radio problem is like, yeah, puffed up radio thinks it's the fucking Beatles. There's a lot of radios that like think they're the opposite of the Beatles. It's more likely, that people are like really hard on themselves.
Dude, I'm just straight static, man. I can't even pick up a fucking.
Yeah.
I got a fucking busted ass antenna.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, dude, is there anything that we can promote for you? You got like, dude, the Netflix thing's going strong.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I have my own. Of course, I have a mandatory podcast called the Duncan Trussell Family Hour, which is, that's pretty much. I've got some other stuff cooking I can't talk about, but that's my main thing, and I love doing it. And if I'm lucky, I have conversations like this on it, because they're my favorite kind of conversation to have.
Dude, I can't talk to people about this shit. I mean, here I'm with these guys all the fucking time, and I feel like they heard me say a lot of this shit for the first time. Like, you can't, I'll be really interested to see how this episode performs for us, because this one's super dear to my heart, man. This is like really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anytime, listen, man, I know everyone says this to you because you were in the unfortunate predicament of being very famous, but anytime you want to just shoot spiritual shit that isn't being recorded, reach out. I love these conversations. I can have them all day long. It's my favorite thing to do. So thank you. It's really nice meeting all of you, and congrats on your awesome podcast.
I appreciate it so much, man.
Dude.
And congrats on everything you got going on, dude. I really,
thank you.
It's a joy, man. So fucking A, we'll sign off here.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Howdy.
Dude, the radio thing, and like people think they're the Beatles. Come on, I love that. And I really believe that our Wild Ride with Steve-O podcast just gets better and better, man. I really, truly think, look, the last one was Dad. The one before that, T-Pain. I really think that we're operating at a high level, and I'm super grateful. And as always, super duper grateful for you guys sticking around to the very end. Now, I haven't said this in a long time to you guys, calling you the street team, but man, would it mean a lot to me if you would go post a screenshot, whatever, like just hit up Duncan Trussell to let him know how much I loved this episode. And if you did too, please let him know that as well. I love you guys. Thank you. Hey everybody, and welcome to a curious wild ride with Steve-O. We're doing something new this time. You guys sent your questions, and my team whittled them down to the very best and juiciest, and at times very, very tough questions. And I sat there in the hot seat and I handled it as best I could. And man, there's some bombshells in this episode, I'll just put it that way. So let's get into it. May the Lord have mercy on my soul. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the universe, I bring to you the first ever Ask Me Anything episode of the Wild Ride podcast. What I've done is posted to my Instagram a request for everybody who's got questions that they want to ask on this episode to DM the questions. My team over the last 24 hours has been poring over the DMs coming in and compiling and curating the questions. I am not privy to what the questions are. I will be hearing them for the first time, but I was very clear, we're not interested in avoiding tough questions. So I don't know what they are. I understand some of it's tough, some of it's funny, some of it's light, some of it's just interesting. I'm really excited about this. It's an exciting new approach. We're trying it once. We'll see how it goes. Let me introduce, again, my ranch hand, Daniel.
Hello.
Daniel has the questions. He will be reading them to me out loud, and I will be answering them on the fly. One last piece of information before we start. We are parked in the new Ass Kicker RV at the Radical Ranch in Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
The last episode of the podcast was the first one that I ever set up by myself. Like, I had set up everything. It was just me, and I did the podcast with my niece. Now, this new RV, the Ass Kicker, it affords me the freedom to be able to go anywhere, even by myself, and set up a podcast by myself. So I don't know. There's just more opportunities. There's more options, and gosh dang darn it, Daniel, I love you.
I love it too, Steve.
All right. So with that, hit me.
What's up, dude? What's been your favorite and least favorite moment of 2024? and you have anything planned for 2025?
Okay. Thank you, Joe. My favorite moment, 2024 was a tough year for me. I'm not even going to pretend that it wasn't. Absolutely my least favorite thing of 2024 was having made such a big deal out of, I'm going to get tits, I'm going to get a boob job, and then and being so public about it, and then ultimately admitting that wasn't a rad idea and backing out of it. Like, I was so ashamed and embarrassed. Like, I'm not the guy who says he's going to do something and then backs out and doesn't do it. You know, like, I pride myself on having, like, integrity, like, for doing what I say I'm going to do. And I didn't. Now, granted, I do believe that I have another kind of integrity, which is I can admit when I'm wrong. But that was just, for me, really, really tough. Yeah, like, backing out of the boob job and feeling like I was so ashamed and so embarrassed. I just, like, why did I make such a big deal out of it, telling everyone it's going to happen? And, you know, so that sucked. That was the worst thing about 2024. The best thing about 2024, I mean, damn, the Radical Ranch, dude. You know, like, and I got really healthy. Like, I got really healthy in 2024. Like, cut flour and sugar out of my diet. Like, really started exercising. Like, I've stuck with it. Like, I really care about my analytics on my Whoop band, so I can just, like, stay fit and everything about being my lifestyle got really healthy in 2024, and it all happened at the Radical Ranch, and, like, the future for this. But that's what I'm stoked about for 2025. My plans, like, are. I mean, I'm going to continue to tour. Like, the tour is going to get better and better. The show is going to get better and better, because that's just what happens. And, like, man, am I about to do rad stuff to make it way better. But a little bit of touring this year, a lot of developing the Radical Ranch. That's what I'm so excited about.
I can't wait for that either.
Well, yeah, dude, we're doing it together, bro. It's my ranch hand right here.
All right, question number 3 comes from Haynes Stoles, or Stalzy. And he asks, Bam or Knoxville in a street fight?
Jesus. I mean, I think Knoxville's got that one.
Wow.
I mean, let me qualify my answer. Knoxville's been diligently going to the gym like crazy. Like, Knoxville and I both are, like, giving Father Time as much hell as we possibly can. Like, Knoxville is at the gym just trying to turn back the hands of time like never before. Like, he is a gym rat. Now, I might not go to the gym like Knoxville, but I am every bit as much of a fitness lunatic as he is, maybe even more. And what keeps me motivated to be just on my fitness game is my Whoop band on my wrist. I'm telling you, I am addicted to the credit that I get from this fitness tracking device. I love how it tells me every day how hard I should push myself based on what my sleep is, based on what my recovery is. And dude, like it just keeps track of where I'm at. Now, for example, right now I'm in London, England. Why? You'll find out next week. But I got killer jet lag. I barely slept last night on the plane. Like, I'm in the red. So today, I don't really have to push myself too hard. And I know that because of my Whoop band. And if you get a Whoop band, which will be totally free, as well as the waterproof charger that slides on top, you can also get your first month of membership completely for free. And if you don't like it, then send it back and you're paying nothing. There's literally nothing to lose. There's everything to gain, and you can join me on my fitness mission by getting to be a part of my Whoop community. It's called Stevo's Wild Ride. We've got like 200 people in there just motivating each other. It's epic. So to do this, you're going to go to join.whoop.com/Stevo. Again, that's to get the hardware for free, your first month of membership for free, and there's nothing to lose because if you don't like it, you just send it back and you paid nothing. So join.whoop.com/Stevo, and I will see you in the Wild Ride community group. Now let's get back to it. Like Knoxville, like every time, because I have sleep apnea, and for a while I was really like into wearing my CPAP machine at night, and like the CPAP supply store just happened to be connected to Johnny Knoxville's gym, you know? Wow. So every time I went to go get CPAP machine supplies, like I hear from Knoxville, like, oh yeah, heard you went by my gym today, like, or whatever. He's like, I never bumped into him at the time when he was there, but it's like, or like, oh, dude, I saw Knoxville. I don't know. It's just like, he's in the gym a lot. Knoxville's in tip-top physical shape. I also think, we've seen footage of Bam fighting, even like particularly recently, and he didn't have like a lot of technical boxing skills. Not that I think Knoxville, like, I don't know, man. I just have Knoxville.
I was gonna say I don't think I've seen footage of Knoxville fighting, but have you ever seen him fight in real life?
I've seen Knoxville step up, I've seen him make himself available for fights when it made no sense. I've seen him put himself in harm's way. Like when I'm like running for cover to find a safe place to watch from, like Knoxville is stepping up to ask what do you need me to do to handle you? And Knoxville also has made himself available for very physical situations just to defend the honor of absolute strangers.
Wow.
Yeah, like Knoxville, he's a good old-fashioned, Southern country boy and a gentleman at that. So, Knoxville's not afraid of getting a fight.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't afraid of Butterbean.
Yeah. Yeah.
So question number 4 comes from Yeshi Wilson. And they ask, favorite stunt by you or any of the crew that never saw the light of day?
Oh, what a great question. That never saw the light of day. Okay, I made a video of things that could not be shown on Jackass. I thought I could just make that and put it on YouTube. And turns out that, it didn't last for more than a couple hours. It got taken down and I got a strike. Because, if it can't be shown on Jackass, why should it be able to be shown on YouTube? Yeah. But, the hits on that one, Knoxville had a stunt called Box Downstairs. Knoxville, I don't think Box Downstairs saw the light of day anywhere, man. I don't know where. I think I just have that footage because I got it from, the production office. There's other things that saw the light of day in skate videos, like Knoxville is saying, I'm going to get hit by a car real soon. And sure enough, he just gets hit by a car. That was an escape video. But really, really never saw the light of day. Man, I think we pretty much found a home. I would say like the shooting a BB into my nipple, but like I found a home for that, and I got away with putting that on YouTube. I don't know if it's still on there.
Wow.
Yeah, YouTube got a little softer over the last 10 years, but 10 years ago that was okay on YouTube. What else didn't see the light of day? It wasn't on footage, but I couldn't even tell that story. Yeah. So,
Ah, bummer.
yeah. The Canada one. What was the Canada one?
Maybe it wasn't Canada, but it's like something to do with a metal light post. And
Oh, yeah. The metal light. Yeah, that was definitely in Canada, in Saskatoon. It was like a square metal post, and this girl had gigantic boobs, like gigantic natural boobs.
Whoa.
And somehow, like, we asked if she wanted to try to like freeze them to this square pole.
Oh, wow.
And she totally did. And like her boobs like wrapped around the whole square pole, and like came off like as like negative, like a version of like bricks. It was like the outline of a brick. Like her boobs were shaped
Oh,
like that.
wow.
Like on both sides, you could see like it was like there were frozen blocks that came
Yeah.
off of this pole.
What the hell?
And like I don't want to describe this too much and get the episode dinged, so I'll just leave it at that. It was cute. It was like that movie, A Christmas Story, right? Is that when he licks the pole? Yeah, it was very fun, very YouTube friendly.
You have that footage?
That footage never saw the light of day. So yeah, thank you, Isaac. That was helpful.
Question number 5 comes from Grayson R06.
Real quick, there's one other one, which there's a couple things that never saw the light of day now that I'm thinking of it. All from around that same time. I had a diving competition with the former national 10-meter platform diving champion of the USA. This guy was the dopest.
Wow.
And it was like we were going dive for dive, but he got judged on the smallest splash, and I got judged on the biggest splash. And man, I ate it. So
Really?
I did a handstand. I did a flip out of a handstand. He did a flip out of a handstand and ripped it. I did a flip out of the handstand, did not rip it. It was so scary, so brutal. At the end, we had an optional dive, and he wheeled me off the top diving platform inside a trash can.
Oh, wow.
And I think he did like something epic, but that footage never saw the light of day. I don't know. I've been searching for it forever, and I'll never find it now. And there's another one. There's a guy who was like paraplegic. He was paralyzed from the waist down, and he was like showing me how he could do wheelies in his wheelchair, and it was just really impressive. And I was like, dude, I want to hang with you, man. Like, and we ended up like all hammered at a hotel that night with like a big staircase, and we were going stunt for stunt in his wheelchair.
No way.
Like I went like I think we both individually went like flying down this huge flight of stairs backwards in his wheelchair. And we were like laughing, like, what's the worst going to happen? What, are you going to get paralyzed? Like, dude's already paralyzed, like.
Right.
And that guy was someone, I even kept in touch with that guy. And it just it hurts my heart that footage, I don't know what happened to it.
You still talk to him today?
I don't know. Like, I mean, maybe he'll hear this and he'll reach out.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
He was a really cool dude.
Time of his life.
Yeah. So we got some good answers out of that one.
Question number 5 comes from Grayson _R06. He asks, what the hell even is the Wheel of Doom?
There you go. It started out as the Crash Cube. We were on the set of Jackass Forever, which at the time was just called Jackass 4. And I devised this thing, this 4 foot tall by 4 foot tall, or 4 foot wide, 4 foot long, 4 foot deep, like cube made out of steel pipe, like roll cage. And then it would be mounted on dolly wheels so that it could be wheeled like down staircases. Like I just really wanted to see it like sitting in the middle of a shot and have like, it's everything's camera's on a tripod. The thing's just sitting there. I get buckled in, and then just a car comes screaming through the frame and just blasts it out.
Oh,
like
man.
the idea was that the chair inside the cube was fixed in position by like suspension coils, like springs for these, like car suspension.
Yeah.
So when the cube would get hit, that the suspension would like have some give, so I could take like devastating blows and have it be kind of okay. I got it made. It was stupid expensive. Got it made. And the thing weighed like 800 pounds. And I thought I was going to take it down the mega ramp. I think that's the best thing for the Wheel of Doom is to go down the mega ramp.
I was about to ask.
Oh, God. Why do I have to go down the mega ramp in the Wheel of Doom? That's the only thing for it, But then, you kind of have to build bumper rails on the roll-in, like in the bowling alley,
Right.
the bumper rails, because you can't go off the side.
Yeah.
Like,
That wouldn't be good.
so there's some logistics, but that's one possibility for the Wheel of Doom. Ultimately, I scrapped the crash cube, and the new design was the crash wheel. So it's going down a hill, I suppose. It's getting into some crashes. Like the mega ramp would be really ideal, and I don't know. Like I just had to build it, and we'll see what happens with it.
Do you see that in 2025?
I don't even know if anything's going to ever ultimately make the cut. I mean, we just did that stunt with the Zorb, and I was like, dude, it's like it doesn't even look like anything. I got worked in the Zorb.
Yeah.
So not everything turns out to be gold that like is worth showing people.
Yeah.
I'll be playing with it in 2025, and we'll see if we get anything awesome.
Nice. Question number 6 comes from 2A_Ray. Of all the places you have been to, which do you hate the most, and why is it Connecticut?
I don't hate Connecticut. I remember there being a pretty gnarly neighborhood that some comedy club or theater we were at was in. Isn't Skinny Vinny from Connecticut? Or is he New Jersey?
I think he is from Connecticut.
I think he's from Connecticut too.
I'm
So
s-
yeah, don't talk bad about the home of Skinny Vinny. He's a legend. And is there a place that I hate? I had a pretty bad experience in San Francisco. Like, and I held it against San Francisco because after I had this bad experience, I was like, I mentioned it to everybody I met for the rest of that whole trip.
Right.
And every single person in San Francisco I said it to, I was like, dude, I got the window smashed out of my car and everything's stolen from in my car. Everyone I said that to, said, yeah, me too. It's just like, that's what happens in San Francisco.
Wow.
Like if you park your car, the window gets smashed and like whatever's in it gets stolen. And I found that to be upsetting. Like it's bad enough it happened to me, but like I just really started holding it against San Francisco when every single person said, yeah, that happened to me too.
Yeah.
And like I had what I call my super pack, which was like had so many like camera lenses, like super killer camera, like brand new iPad, brand new MacBook, like, and it had like, dude, that was the biggest score that any smash and grabber, like car thief in San Francisco ever got their hands on. The value of that one backpack that they stole out of that car after they smashed the window was absurd. And, went straight to the police station to report it, and the cops basically laughed at me. Like, like, ha, like they'd like, so that made me hate San Francisco too.
Wow.
And still in San Francisco, I went to the Apple store and bought a new iPad. And like, when I set up that iPad, I made the password for my hotspot. It said, fuck San Fran. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, whatever. I should have compassion for people. It's because they're struggling there, And that's the thing about San Francisco is that Silicon Valley, all the tech companies, like at the time Tesla, Google, like Apple, like that's all of that tech money, like is concentrated in that area, Silicon Valley, and so all of that money in the Bay Area, like just made everything so expensive that it's what's called gentrification. You know, like everything, the cost of everything rose so much that honest, hardworking people cannot afford rent, cannot afford, you know, like the cost of living got so high that honest, hardworking people, like, just are in terrible financial situations. And like in that whole dynamic, crime becomes like a serious thing. And now like Oakland is in that area. Like all the retail stores just stopped. They don't even have retail in Oakland.
Jesus.
Like everything closed down in Oakland because no business can make money because there's so much theft. You know, like the crime is so bad. And I think that ultimately San Francisco is really going to be like the canary in the coal mine. You know, like what San Francisco is now, or they're at that time, like expect the whole rest of the country to kind of follow and be that later.
It's terrible.
It's gnarly.
Question number 7. It's by Senti. And they ask, are you ever going to laser away the dick on your face?
I'm pretty sure that I will. I proudly say during my Super Dummy show that I fell in love with it. And I think that if I'm gonna be truly honest, I need to like add a disclaimer to that. What I'm in love with is the fact that I've carved out a place in this world where I can have a penis tattooed on my face and walk about and nothing. My life isn't any different. If anybody else had a penis tattooed on their face, like a very detailed penis with like jizz shooting out of it on their forehead, like I think that would dramatically change most people's lives. I don't even remember that it's there. I talk to people on a daily basis. I go about my life, it's not shocking because it's my forehead. You know, like I have carved out a very unique and very special place in this world to be able to get away with that and my life not be any different. Yeah, that is what I fell in love with. Ultimately, like when I see certain photos, I look at the photo and like it jumps out at me like oh yeah, and like I will get a pang of like I don't like that, you know, like but I'm committed to it. I think for the duration of the Super Dummy tour, and then I cannot wait to get it lasered off. And God, I hate to admit this, but I really want to get the Crash Test Dummy logos lasered off the side of my head. Really? And that will be an undertaking of all undertakings for 2 reasons. It's so deeply and darkly and like heavily tattooed in there. And believe it or not, the easy color to remove is black with the laser. Black comes right out. Any color other than black, like very stubborn, does not want to come out. So all of that yellow in the Crash Test Dummy logos on my head is going to take a ton of like going over and over and come back weeks later and, you know, like repeated treatments. But the thing is that, and that's why I originally only got the Crash Test Dummy logo on top of my head, because I know that when I choose to get a haircut that I think is going to look the best, it means the sides of my head get like faded, you know, like shaved pretty close. Like so close that you definitely see the Crash Test Dummy logos. And that's not the end of the world, but like if I want a haircut and like on the sides of my head, there's so much gray. And so like I like to go and tell the barber, like really buzz it close so that the gray is not so obvious. Yeah. And really buzz it close. Like, you know, it's all you see is the Crash Test Dummy logos. Again, not the end of the world, but once the Super Dummy tour is over, like I want to laser that off too.
Question number 8 comes from Natisa Marshall. And she asked, hey, Steve, I live in Tennessee and was wondering if the Radical Ranch is going to be taking rescues or how the process of rescuing an animal looks like for you guys.
Cool. Yeah, the taking rescues, like sort of as a function of, oh, that's what we do. I would say the answer is no. Are we bringing in animals? Yes, but like they're not on any kind of a major scale. Like I can say that the next animals that we get here, that we rescue, and not necessarily in any order, but cows and chickens. Not sure if chickens will come first or cows, but really excited to have chickens and cows. That's next. So then at that point, we'll have goats, pigs, cows, chickens, dogs, and cats. And once we have all of them, then we'll be figuring out like what's the next area of the property that we put up fencing, and what animals do we rescue to, live in that.
That's exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, what animals do you think we should get after cows and chickens?
Oh, man.
You know what? Sorry, we gotta get a jackass, which is just a donkey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want.
I was literally going to say donkey.
I don't want one of anything.
Yeah.
Because if you get one of anything, then it's lonely.
Yeah.
So like, I can't get a jackass. I got to get like a cast of jackasses. That'd be pretty rad to have like get a donkey and name him Knoxville. Get a donkey and name him Pontius, Party Boy.
Yeah.
Like, a bunch of donkeys. That'd be sick. I wonder if they're difficult to take care of, because I understand that horses are like both a ton of work to care for and like super expensive to care for.
Yeah.
And donkeys, from what I gather, are pretty closely related to horses. But whatever, we gotta have them. The jackass cast. That's sick.
Fucking awesome.
Everything about the Radical Ranch is awesome. And our first fundraiser for the nonprofit, which is now registered and official, is going to be epic with the help of Shopify, because Shopify is the ultimate gold standard in e-commerce. And when we do this next fundraiser, 100% of the proceeds from everything that we're selling on Shopify will go to the nonprofit. Man, I'm so excited about it. We're going to put up fences. We're going to bring in animals. It's going to be epic. And thank you, Shopify, for making it so easy and so efficient. I want you guys to try it too. Whether you're a charity, whether you're a for-profit business, anything to do with e-commerce, Shopify is the ticket, man, for building the website, for plugging in all of the e-commerce. Shopify. And you can try it for just $1 per month if you go to shopify.com/Stevo, making sure that that's all in lowercase letters. Again, you can try Shopify for only $1 per month. If it's to finally build that website you've been dreaming of, or to take your existing business to the next level, go to shopify.com/Stevo to get to work for only $1 per month. It is a deal that you can't turn down. Shopify.com/Stevo, all in lowercase letters. And let's get back to it.
Question number 9. It's by Alex. I'm going to mess up this last name.
Go for it, too.
Mohirik.
Good.
Read your Professional Idiot book and was wondering, while you were going through recovery, was there any type of music or songs in particular that helped you get through it when you were at your lowest point?
Okay. I feel compelled to react to that question with sort of a nuanced, like, kind of a correction. Like going through recovery is not like in the past tense. Like, I'm just in recovery, and get through it. Like, we don't ever get through it to where like it's in our rear view, which is like a nuanced thing. And I get what he's saying. But when I was in early recovery and experiencing difficult like moments, difficult days, difficult periods, I can't say that there's any specific music that helped me get through those trying times. But distinctly, there was one guy, his name is LW. I don't even know what it stands for, just LW. I was like right around 1 year sober, and like your first year is gnarly. The first couple years, like when you're at 1 year, like it's crazy what a slow process it is. And I was turning 1 year sober on Dancing with the Stars, which is just like a weird thing. Like,
wow,
back then it was like kind of like maybe a higher profile ordeal, you know, like TV was still a big deal. There were literally 20 million plus people tuning in. And I was like dancing in like weird sequence costumes, like ballroom dancing on TV in front of 20 million people. And like, you know, I'm a sensitive dude. Like, you'd think that Steve-O's crazy, doesn't care what people think. Like, no, dude. You know, like, I'm a sensitive dude. And like the overwhelming pressure, and like it doesn't even make sense to me in hindsight that I was under so much pressure. But I reached out to LW, who at the time was like 18 years sober. And I told him, dude, I'm not okay. Like, I cannot bear the discomfort that I'm in. I cannot stand like the stress. Like, I'm not okay. And I meant it. Like, I was, and LW said, he said, it's okay, man. Like, you're not always going to be okay. You know, or maybe he said, you're not always going to feel okay. You know, like, you're not supposed to always feel okay. Like, that, it's fine, you know? But he said, when you don't feel okay, there's one thing that will always help, and that is to conduct yourself as a gentleman. Because whatever it is that you don't feel okay about, like, if you conduct yourself as a gentleman, then you've got that to feel okay about. You know, like, you can feel good, like, oh, to know yourself experientially, to conduct yourself as a gentleman is something to feel proud of, grateful for, to feel good about.
Yeah.
And to do that, to know that you did that, even in the face of adversity, that's something that you can feel good about, that will make you feel better, that will alleviate your feeling of not being okay. And that, more than any song, that helped me in a particularly difficult time.
Wow. 100%. Question number 10 comes from Mirko Balia. At Balia Mirko. What is your favorite show?
Oh my God. I think I've been pretty outspoken about how much I love true crime.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I don't know if we call it a show because it's a YouTube channel, but I freak out when I see there's a new upload from JCS Criminal Psychology. JCS stands for Jim Can't Swim, and it is the gold standard of true crime content. So yeah, that's my favorite form of entertainment is JCS Criminal Psychology, with Stay Awake as a close second. And then, like, in like third and fourth, like, we got Beyond Evil, Explore With Us, Iwu. You cannot go wrong with those 4 channels. Even though Explore With Us and Beyond Evil, like, they crank out so much content that, like, you know, it's not always like top notch. Like, JCS is the gold standard, and Stay Awake is like silver and gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question number 11 comes from Lucas Nanya. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. I heard it described to me that the root of pretty much all fear is that either you're not going to get what you want, or that you're going to lose what you have. And for that to really add up and make sense, you got to figure that you got to like factor like our comfort. And, you know, like to lose one's comfort is like, you know, we're afraid of being in pain. You know, it's like we're afraid of pain and suffering. That makes sense. And that would be the loss of our comfort, you know. So it's a pretty broad stroke answer, but you know, my greatest fear is to lose what I have, you know, like, and even I'll take it a step further, to lose everything, you know, like, and it's pretty astonishing, like, as like I've gone through growth spurts in like my career as a businessman, you know, like the numbers for everything, the numbers of money, like the amounts of money coming in as well as the amounts of money going out just got bigger and bigger. You know, like there was a point where there was like a couple of years ago, like 2022, there was like absurd amounts of money coming in. And in that whole, crazy successful year, like I added more and more like employees, you know, I'd like, oh, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that, like, and then I got a warehouse and warehouse staff, and then like, oh, this is going great, and I get a second warehouse, and then like at the end of the day, what happened was like gigantic amounts of money are going out, which is easily justified by gigantic amounts of money coming in, but 2023 and for damn sure 2024 were not like 2022, and so then I find myself like, oh, wow, like gigantic amounts of money are still going out, but like not gigantic amounts of money are coming in. So I'm looking at like financial statements from my accounting team and seeing like negative numbers, like, wow, like I'm bleeding money. And that kicks in a massive fear, especially when the numbers are big. Like, wow, at this rate, like I could lose everything. And that's like, you know, that's just the definition of fear. Like, we're afraid that we're going to lose what we have, and we're afraid we're not going to not get what we want. So yeah, and like to have like kind of drop that out there. Like, I've been really trying to like cut spending, you know, like be more kind of frugal, make better decisions. I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it. Like at the end of the day, I didn't like lose money in 2024. It just was like a meager year compared to what I've gotten used to prior. And that's fine. And it's scary to me that, like, you know, man, maybe I peaked, you know? Like, I think I could actually probably pretty confidently say, like, in my career, having had that Jackass Forever 2022 year with, like, everything was just going nuts. The interest rates were, like, at the all-time low. The pandemic, everybody had the stimulus money. Like, it was a perfect storm of opportunity for like me to have like the craziest, most successful year. And I don't see that I'll ever beat that, but I got to not look at everything from like a financial perspective. And I got to look at it like, all right, you know, maybe I'm done making that kind of money, you know, big whoop, you know, like now let's worry about our relationship with the universe, you know. I'm big on that at this point. So that's what I'm most excited about 2025 is that I'm really getting down with, you know, my relationship with God.
Beautiful.
Yeah, dude. And God's the answer to fear. Like the opposite of fear is love. Like there's only two things that can motivate any decision or any action. It's either love or fear. It's crazy because like that holds up. There's nothing you can do that's not one of the two. And like seeking a relationship with the universe, or if you want to call it God, like that is like by definition, I would say like seeking to make every choice be motivated by love and not fear.
Question number 12 comes from Diarrhea Man 83.
I love him already.
And he asks, can priests edge if they can't masturbate?
I knew I was going to love him. Are we clear that priests can't masturbate? Because they can certainly guzzle whiskey. You know, like, what, you know, I'm not sure that there's really a defined set of boundaries for priests. And if there is, I don't think it's proven to be very helpful. You know?
Yeah.
Like if, you know, like if, let's say hypothetically, if there's like a set of rules, like if the answer is no, priests can't edge, priests can't do anything sexual, like it's not okay, then like the role of priest becomes like a magnet for people who like have like really deviant like sexual predilections. You know, and that's why, like, there's a big problem with that.
Yeah.
You know? So I hereby vote for priests to fully crank out loads, fully like whatever, because if they don't, like one way or another, they're gonna, you know. But I don't want to bash on organized religion. I think that it's worth noting that people of faith like really have a demonstrable advantage over people without faith. I believe that to be true.
Yeah. Question number 13 comes from Murdog 47. Did you ever have a near fatal overdose throughout recording Wildboyz or Jackass?
A near fatal overdose throughout recording Wildboyz or Jackass. I don't know if overdosing, I'm sure it actually is a thing with nitrous. If I remember this correctly, and there's a good possibility that I don't, I feel like I was supposed to be the one who was going to get the penis brand in the second movie. The one where like there was like a dick farm or whatever you called it.
Yeah.
I think that I was supposed to be the one to get branded. It's kind of like my wheelhouse a little bit more. Maybe I was just supposed to be there, but I was not there. Because if it was the night before, or if it was like call time, I was supposed to be in the lobby, like whatever, they couldn't find me. So like Gooch, who's one of the Jackass producers, like they were like find him like whatever, like they got a key to my hotel room. So Gooch got a key to my hotel room, opened up my hotel room and came in just like as I was like, my lips were completely blue and I was like flopping around on the floor, like convulsing, like
oh my God.
From like it's called fishing out. Like when you lose consciousness while inhaling nitrous oxide, it's called fishing out because you're kind of flopping on the ground like a fish is in a boat. You know, like so I was fishing with blue lips when he walked into my hotel room. I don't even know if he tried to like do anything. I think he might have just turned around and like went and reported. Like I went into his room, he's in there, you know, but like his lips are blue and he's flopping around on the floor unconscious. And I was uninvited to the set that day.
Holy shit.
I think that is quite possibly how BAM ended up with the brand because that's kind of like been the understanding. Like if you're visibly intoxicated, like you are not really welcome to be on camera for Jackass or Wildboyz. It was always perfectly fine to be like super hungover, and certainly at the end of like many a bit, it's like, okay, good, we got that. And the last line was, now let's go to the bar. But like doing it on camera, for the most part, was like not okay.
Yeah.
And having blue lips and flopping around on the floor was like a disqualifier for sure.
Yeah.
So I would kind of count that as a little bit of a near overdose.
That seems to be like a common theme. Like somebody that was supposed to do a stunt couldn't, and then it got passed on to somebody else.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
and turned
like,
epic.
When Tremaine wants something to happen, like he's gonna like, and it's funny because like nobody can be made to do anything, you know. Like it's like, oh, you don't want to be on. I remember like being taken to the highlight place, one of my first Jackass experiences for the TV show. There was like, they had the highlight players in Miami, and they put oranges in the highlight thing. They sling the oranges like way over 100 miles an hour. Like that highlight thing, like gets whatever they're slinging going way faster than your regular arm can. You know, like that centrifugal force, whatever. So it's like hella more than a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And like they're slamming these oranges against the wall. And I'm supposed to stand in front of and get hit by these oranges with Knoxville. And I was like, wait, you're trying to make me do that? You know, like wait a second, you're trying to put me in front of that? And Jeff Tremaine was like, no, you don't have to do it. Like, it's up to you. Like, do you want to be on TV or not? And I was like, well, when you put it that way, like, of course I want to be on TV. Of course I'll get in front of the oranges, you know? So, I mean, that's what Jackass always was, is that we're all just like rabid attention whores. We desperately want to be on screen. And so like we're ultimately willing to put ourselves through horrible things in order to get the attention that we crave. But we all have our lines, and there's things that, like, it's like there's things that we want to not do enough to actually forego the screen time.
Yeah.
And everybody's got different lines in different places. And when there's an idea like Lamborghini tooth pull, dude, Tremaine will come to you and he'll like, dude, like, and everyone will pass up an idea, and it goes down. The ideas that Tremaine wants to happen will go trickle down the ladder.
Yeah.
Until it gets to the bottom of the ladder, which is Danger Aaron. That's why Danger Aaron gets the completely healthy tooth ripped out by a Lamborghini.
Such a legend.
Yeah, that's why Danger Aaron did like the new cup test. I think Knoxville would have done the super cup test in Jackass Forever, but like he had either a hernia or like a herniated disc or something. There's some medical reason that Knoxville like literally couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And the first cup test was Francis Ngannou, the UFC heavyweight champion, like punching in the nuts. And I'm such a UFC fan. I was like, dude, let me do it, dude. I want to get punched in the nuts by Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, dude, you really don't. Like, and in hindsight, they were right.
Wow.
Like, I didn't want to step up to. Yeah, Danger Aaron was the star of that movie, dude. And you can be the star of your bedroom with Blue Chew tablets. It's a fact, man. You perform at your best in the bedroom with a Blue Chew tablet. At least I do. Proven time and time again. And especially at my age, man, I welcome the help. I mean, who doesn't want a little help to perform at their very best? And I gotta believe that you've been thinking, man, I wonder if it would be a lot of fun to try Blue Chew tablets with the same active ingredient as Viagra and Cialis, except only a fraction of the price, and chewable and delicious. Well, yeah, it will be a lot of fun. That's what I'm telling you. And if you go to bluechew.com, you get an entire month's supply totally for free. A whole month's worth of performing at your best in the bedroom for free. All you pay is $5 for shipping. And it's just waiting for you at bluechew.com. So type in bluechew.com and make it happen, dude. I'm telling you, perform at your best. And let's ride this baby all the way home.
Next question, number 14, comes by Henry Webb at HWSAVV. Asks, how much cocaine do you reckon you have done over all the years?
An 8-ball is 1/8 of an ounce. I would never, for the most part, ever purchase less than an 8-ball. Like that was just like, a lot of times I would get 2 8-balls. I would typically like stay awake for 2 to 3 days doing typically like at least an 8-ball. And then I would like sleep. So it was like 2 days on, 2 days, maybe 3 days on, 1 day off. That 1 day I'm just hibernating. And then I wake up and do it all over again. Like that was years. So
You did that for years?
I did that for years.
Wow.
Yeah. And it got even like kind of gnarlier than that. So just averaging it out every week, you can be sure that I did like a 1/4 ounce of cocaine, like on an average week. So, and I don't want to like get crazy and inflate it. So let's say, let's say a 1/4 ounce a month, two, like 1 8-ball every 2 weeks. That's light. Half an ounce a month. I think, oh wait. No. What am I trying to say? 3 8-balls a month. That makes sense. I don't know. Okay, 1/4 ounce a month. Screw it. So then that's 12 months. So that's 3 ounces per year. I did, and that's light, 3 ounces per year. And I was at it. I mean, dude, when I was in the circus before Jackass, like I was awake for an entire weekend, and there was like 2 shows Friday, 3 shows on Saturday, like 3 shows on Sunday, I think. So like, what's that? That's 8 shows in one weekend.
Wow.
And I didn't sleep a wink the whole time. I'm backstage peeling off my clown nose to like do lines.
Oh wow.
So like I'm that quarter ounce per month like dates back to the year 2000 for sure. 3 ounces per year goes through 2007 for sure. Yeah. I mean, whatever. I'm getting in the weeds of math. Not that much, like a pound and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, and maybe more, maybe a couple pounds.
Question number 15 comes from Sia Rosie. She asks, you've obviously lived a more unusual life than most, so if you had to give one piece of wisdom or life advice to young people today, what would it be?
Oh, man.
Thank you with like 10 U's.
Oh, 10 years of sobriety?
Well, no, she put thank you with a bunch of U's at the end of you.
Oh, gotcha. I heard 10 years, but you said 10 U's.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that, I get asked for advice quite a bit over the years, and I always say, whatever it is that you want to, like, get into, what you want to get good at, you want to accomplish, like, just start doing it. You know, like my advice is don't wait for someone to pick you. Don't wait for the right time. You know, like don't wait for anything. Start right away. You know, like to get good at anything, first you have to be bad at it. You know, like
Yeah.
nobody's gonna be good at something right away. So like waiting for the right time to start something, fuck that. Like start now. You got to be bad at something before you're ever going to be good at it. And with one caveat, I say start with like some guidance from somebody who has more experience than you in whatever it is you're pursuing, so that you can be reasonably confident that you're not getting started the wrong way. Because you don't want to like start learning something the wrong way. So now you've gone in the wrong direction. Now you've got to unlearn all the progress that you've made. Fix, like, you know, have enough guidance to make sure that you're starting the learning the right way, and start. And let it be something that that you're passionate about, you know? The word enthusiasm, it breaks down like to the roots entheos, which means with God. Like when you're enthusiastic, like that you're channeling like the universe, you know, like that's God working through you. That's what enthusiasm is God's working through you, you know. And like, so passion, enthusiasm, that's what you want to follow. And that's most people's problem, is that they don't have any clear idea of what they're passionate about. And you can never accomplish a goal unless first you identify a goal. You know, you can't hit a target if you don't have one that you're aiming at, you know? So, figure out what you're fucking enthusiastic about and get after it, and do not wait. That's my advice.
Yeah. And if I may, I want to tag on to that just a little bit.
Please.
I've been a fan of Steve's for a long time. We talk about it in the last podcast that I was in, the Solo Ranch Pod.
Which was a great podcast. It said it was called The Crazy Story of How Steve-O Hired His Ranch Hand.
Yes.
Yeah, people should check that one out after this.
That's the one. And if there's something I wish I said in that episode that I'll say here is, I've always been passionate about just doing something fun like this, something with film, something with stunts. That's always been my thing.
Oh, yeah, you stunts? Remember when you were on the roof of the skate barn?
Yeah.
Did we make fun of you on that last podcast for that?
No, but it was brought up.
It was so funny, dude.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
It was brought up when you were trying to do the Zorb.
Yeah, it was so funny, dude. I bought this inflatable crash pad so that we could jump off the roof of the skate barn.
Yeah.
It was not that high of a fall, and it was onto a big, cushy airbag. And you were up there for like an hour.
I was up there from I was up there for an hour.
Like the only upsetting thing is that we didn't have like a time lapse. You could see like the sun like go. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying it was legitimately hilarious.
No, it's funny, and I'm glad that you brought it up, and I'm glad that you think it's funny because after that happened, and I wasn't able to jump off that roof, and there was a whole time lapse behind me and stuff. I thought
it's not that you're plenty able. You weren't willing.
I told myself, "Fuck, Steve must think I'm such a pussy." After that, like every time I've remembered that, I'm like, he thinks I'm a pussy.
No,
but when you bring it up and you're like, "This was the funniest thing," I'm like, "Okay, at least it was funny."
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, dude. Like, you are among the most like cautious, like and I think like you value your health and your safety.
I do, yeah.
Like more than anybody who I think I've ever met. You know? And
I just don't want to die, that's all.
well, yeah, I mean, I get it, dude. I get it. And I love that about you. You know, like that's who you are. So that's why, like, when you said, like, oh, I'm just passionate. I want to be doing stunts. Like, no, you don't. Like, no part of you wants to be doing stunts.
Let me clarify. I want to film people doing stunts.
Yeah. And I love you so much, man.
I love you too, man.
Yeah, there's no criticism here. Like, I'm profoundly, in support of everything about how you are. I want nothing about you to change.
Yeah, I get that from you, man, and thank you. And comedy, just I want to be involved working in comedy somehow.
Okay.
You're funny.
All right.
As fuck. And so Steve was just real quick. He was coming through my hometown. I knew he was coming through my hometown, and all I did was I showed up and tried.
Yeah, dude.
Just show up and try. That's what I. So because it's just showing up and trying is really hard for some people.
For sure.
And I mean it was hard for me. It's hard for me to show up.
How about this? There's no such thing as luck. There's simply the point when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Just be prepared.
And if you don't show up, then you're never gonna get an opportunity.
Yeah.
So be able to discern, like identify opportunity and show up for it.
Yeah.
How about this? Seek opportunity. Find it.
Yes.
And show up for it.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Good advice.
All right. So question number 16 comes from artificial_KD. Are you and Lux still together? Why haven't we seen her in forever?
Oof. Okay. Before I recorded the podcast tonight, we had our second ever board meeting for the Radical Ranch, which is the animal sanctuary that Lux and I, have been dreaming of, that, and it is official. We got our letter from the IRS, like we're approved, we're registered, we're licensed to solicit donations, to collect money, to spend on animals. Like this board meeting, it got me so stoked. Lux too. And we're absolutely working on that together. However, we are no longer together as a couple. And that we haven't announced it. We talked about it. We talked about doing a collab post from both of our Instagrams with like a statement about how I drafted one. She said that she liked mine better than hers. It said,
"Oh wow."
Yeah, I wrote, since we made the move to Tennessee, like it's been really clear that we're like passionate about like pursuing like different things. I know for sure that when we made the move to Tennessee, like I just fell in love with it. I just clicked right into place. I'm like, dude, I love it here. And it's easy for me because everything, like my world kind of revolves around me. So if I move to Tennessee, like, it just has to work, like, it doesn't matter where I am.
Yeah.
Like, my world still revolves around me if I'm in Tennessee, and like, we've got workarounds to like make everything, run. It's not that easy for Lux, like especially with her work opportunities are like super in LA, her friends like super in LA, like, so she didn't click into Tennessee like I did. I think that was a factor. But like 4 or 5 months ago, in the midst of like, let me just call it what it is, me being a lot, like putting up with me all the time, where it's just like, and everything, my world revolves around me, and I'm like more than a little bit like self-absorbed, and just like, I'm just revolving around myself. Like, putting up with that is a fucking lot. And I was clearly wearing Lux down for like, more since moving to Tennessee than before, but I've always worn her down like that. 4 or 5 months ago, she said something to the effect of that being in a relationship with me, of course, it's been like amazing. It's been fun. Like come on, like, we've done all this like crazy awesome stuff, but it's come at a cost. And like, she spoke so well when she said that. She was like, she described that being in a relationship with me comes at a cost of her identity, her independence, like, she called it like being trapped in the Steve show, like stuck in my orbit, like kind of effectively like lost in my shadow to some degree, like it, and man, I told her too that, like, wow, like, I feel that, like, I feel that a lot. And, I don't want to like strip her of her identity, like the way that I put it, it was like, if I was going to paraphrase what she said, she doesn't want to look, be 10 years further down this track and look back and be like, is my tombstone going to say Steve-O's chick? Like, not, and that's like a particularly like, crude way of describing it. But ultimately, like, Lux, what she was saying is that her independence, her sovereignty, her own unique identity, that she feels that she's been losing that. She's been losing that, and that she's got her dreams. That she's like it's too much to be stuck in the Steve show and like constantly like at the mercy of my like insufferable fucking self everything. And like she yearns to pursue her own fucking dreams. She's like, I want to do my own thing. I want to be my own person. And I'm like beside myself with how impressed I am by that. I was like, I've said from the very beginning of knowing Lux, I mean, certainly being together with her, that the way that, like, if we, like when we were just dating and we're going to restaurants, like when we're new in our relationship, she's like, no, I'm paying. I'm like, Lux, like, like I'm not like I respect that so much, but like we're just gonna, it's like I'm not gonna like. She was so determined to like be paying for stuff, and like I just respected that so much. And whenever anything came up, I was like, man, so many other people in this situation that like we're in, that you're in, like so many like people would be like, oh, dude, this is killer. I don't have to do shit. And she never lost her passion to work, to support herself. Like, I mean, dude, like it's just so impressive that she is that way. And like, it's crazy because I was talking with my dad about the whole thing, and my dad was like, yeah, like I saw this coming like 5 years ago. He said, he's like, he described that the way that Lux is with her fierce independence and the way that I am, like, you know, us together, he's like, you guys together, just the dynamic of who you are, your personalities, your situations, like, you guys together, like, we're just on a track that was just headed towards it. You've been on a crash course to this situation. Like, and when my dad put it that way, it made sense to me. I was like, man, you know, like, and in all of the, like, the growing apart and, like, the frustration that we both had, like, I certainly fucking handled a bunch of stuff, like, not well. You know, I was, like, Lux, to a much lesser degree, like, handled certain things not great. And at the end of the day, we just arrived at a place where it's like, you know what? Like, nobody is right. Nobody's wrong. We're just, like, these two people who, like, this was going to be the ultimate outcome, you know? And, like, all of the turbulence, all of the, like, frustration, like, all of the struggles that we went through at the end wasn't even anybody doing the wrong thing. It was just symptoms of, like, the dynamic that was at play. That's just what was going to happen. And I believe that to be true. So, and as it all, like, came to a head, it was like, for, like I said, 4 or 5 months ago that started. And Lux said that she wanted to spend some time apart. And I was like, wow, man, like, that's crazy, because I'd always maintained, like, I never want to, like, not be with you, you know? And once that was the thing, and then we were apart. And the more that we were apart, she was like, I'm getting energized. Like, I feel like I'm getting momentum on my own, and I'm excited about, like, what I can do on my own. And I'm like, fucking right on. The more, like, I was apart and, like, doing my own thing, I was like, well, holy shit, dude, like, what if I'm not so worried about, like, privacy and, like, but, you know, like, imagine, like, you know, what if I just do whatever, like, I want? You know, like, I just started, like, I think we both separately got excited about, like, opportunity that we could just do what we want and pursue, like, what we want.
Right.
And it just came to a point where we had a conversation that it was like, hey, like, nobody did anything wrong. Nobody cheated on anybody. Nobody did or said anything that was so terrible that it'll, like, never go away.
Right.
You know, it was all, like, minor turbulence and frustration, but, like, all, like, super civil, and, like, we respect each other so much. We ended up just deciding, okay, we're not going to be together anymore. And it's crazy that we're even saying this, but we're just actually not going to be together anymore. And I found myself thinking, holy shit, like, nobody would ever believe that, like, like everybody says they break up amicably and, like, they still love each other, and, like, I wouldn't have even believed it. And, like, I'm like, am I actually in the midst of, like, the most, like, loving, like, mutually respectful, amicable parting of ways? Like,
Yeah.
like, I didn't even know that it was possible. And I'm not going to say that it's easy, you know, like, it's not fucking easy. And I feel like an absolute catastrophic fucking failure, you know, just right up there with the boob job thing, to be like, I said I'm going to do this, and then I didn't do it, you know? But, and that's a long ass fucking answer. But I just got off the phone with Lux before this. She said that she wanted to bring, I saw your Instagram story. I saw that you're going to be taking questions. She's like, I know there's going to be some question about if, like, what's going on with Lux. And she's like, if there is, go ahead and answer it. Like, and I was like, okay, like, I'll,
Wow.
you know, I figured there would be that question too.
Yeah.
I told her that I would isolate the section where I talk about it and send it to her, because I don't want to put anything out that.
Yeah, of course.
She said, I trust you to say it, you know, like, she said, I'm not going to want to make any changes. I'll want to know, like, what was said, but, like, yeah. And she's, like, sick and not feeling well, and she said that that's, like, just forcing her to, like, kind of sit in her emotions. And so, like, she's,
Yeah.
having kind of a tough day. But I just love her, man. I love her. And we had a bunch of conversations that were just so healthy and like mature. And I remember at the end of one of them, I said, I love you. And I know that those words take on a very different meaning at this point, but they're no less true.
Yeah.
You know, I love her and I respect her, and I'm fucking impressed by what a badass she is to be like, I'm letting go. I don't want to be, I don't want help. I don't want to fucking be like, I want to be fucking independent. I want to fucking pursue my own shit. I want to fucking make my own way.
Yeah.
That is a fucking badass fucking chick. Yeah. Oof, that was heavy. So that was an announcement that has not been made for months.
Yeah.
Like, we've been apart for months now. Crazy.
And I just want to say this. I don't know. Like, I know you could probably cut this out or whatever, but, you know, just, I mean, while we're on the subject, like, yeah, I remember, like, nobody had told me anything. I didn't know anything, but, like, I just remember a few months ago, I just had a gut feeling, you know, and I just kind of knew. And, you know, that thing that happens when you know something's going to end and you have, like, a highlight reel of that person playing through your mind of, like, so I had that with her, like, when she first was showing me how to water her plants over FaceTime the first time I met her, and then fast forward to her showing me how to clean the goat barn and hanging out with the goats, and then fast forward to in Tennessee where she's, you know, buying me, making sure that I'm like I have everything I need to be prepared to work on the ranch, and I just felt so grateful and sad at the exact same time because I knew, like, this is probably it. And that was with nobody telling me a fucking thing. I just felt it. And
definitely the I think that was like the inevitable, we didn't realize it, but I think that was the inevitable outcome of our relationship, just because of who we are and like the mix of our personalities and like what we're about. But the move to Tennessee like really sped up that inevitability. Kind of like an alcoholic can drink and drink and drink like for a long, long time, and ultimately it gets like bad to the point that they get sober. But when the alcoholic like starts doing cocaine, that'll like really speed up the trip to rock bottom. You get to rock bottom a lot faster with a lot of drugs involved than just drinking on its own.
yeah,
And like Tennessee was like, the move to Tennessee was like the drugs speeding up the trip to rock bottom.
yeah,
Yeah. And I think that, you know, I think that's probably for the better, because like I told her on the phone earlier, I was like, I really believe that it happened so gradually, like the frog in the boiling water, that you kind of don't realize. Like the change is so gradual. Like the frog in the boiling water thing is that the water heats up so slowly that ultimately the frog doesn't realize it's boiling to death because it just didn't notice the change was so gradual. And like with us, I think that like the joy in the relationship was like evidently like diminished. It was so gradual over time. Like, and if we had stayed on that track, I just think that we were going to be miserable. And because nobody ever did anything really wrong, there's no catastrophic event to like really destroy the relationship in any like that. It was just gradual, man. You know, like,
yeah,
like it's so much easier if there's like a black and white reason why like something so bad happened that it's just definitely over. And we didn't have that, so it was just this gradual like diminishing of and again the Tennessee piece sped it up.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm really fucking proud of her though, man.
yeah.
Like everything, the whole reasoning behind everything, like her integrity and her fucking, like, she's not looking for any kind of a free ride, and that's fucking impressive as hell.
Yeah.
All right, next question.
All right. Question number 17 by Swaggin05. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, Steve. What makes you happiest in life?
I mean, snuggling with the dogs, man.
I've seen this.
I really fucking love animals, man. I really fucking love animals. Moon Pie's been over here just like ignoring me the whole time. It's a shitty materialistic thing, but I can't help it. Fucking RVs make me really fucking. I love fucking RVs, dude. I'm a fucking RV dude. Like I literally like have been sleeping in the fucking RV. I got this big, dope, the Radical Ranch. Like the house is rad. There's a 7 foot by 7 foot bed. It's called a Wyoming size king. It's like a fucking huge bed, and I'm like sleeping in an RV in the parking lot because I fucking love RVs.
It's true.
Yeah. This fucking thing is such an ass kicker. Oh my God, I cannot wait for this fucking RV is insane. But other than that, I don't know. Like, I meant what I said, that I'm really just, I just want to focus on just being a good guy, man. You know, like, I really want to just turn it all back to the universe and just making choices that are motivated by love and not fear.
Yeah, I love that about you, man.
It's not like it's a moving target, man. You know, like you look at Reddit and all the fucking hate and the criticisms. Oh, Steve-O, he just became like, and I did, like, I got like completely fucking crazy in the pursuit for trying to like make as much money as possible. And in 2022, I fucking definitely killed it. You know, I definitely killed it, and that like had a negative impact on me. Like where I was like, oh, it's all about the money, and like, you know, and probably to 2023 and 2024, like saw a sharp decline because I was like, my motivation was like fucked up, and it was like, I gotta make the money, and I gotta make, and it just like became evident to me. Like, oh, look at this guy, he just wants to make the money, and like it turned off a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that it should have, you know, like fuck it, it should have. And now, like in response to that, I should recognize that, and I should like stop giving such a fuck about money, you know, and worry about my relationship with God. If anybody isn't like that, that's fine. I mean, I know the word God bums people out, but I have a relationship with the universe I care about.
Yeah.
And I want to make that my priority and not my financial success. So that's what's going to make me happy.
Wow. So question number 18 comes by 3-piece Darren. And he asks, your least favorite tattoo and your favorite tattoo.
Oh my God. I think we all know what my least favorite tattoo is. We don't need to get into that goddamn abhorrent thing. I mean, if you Google Steve-O tattoo, like, prepare to be horrified. Jesus. My favorite tattoo, it's ironic that my favorite tattoo I got lasered off. Like, I had on my knuckles the word shit and fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I got them lasered off. You can't even tell they were ever there.
Let me see.
Like that. One was drilled in deeper. You can kind of see a little bit of the eye right here. So that was the shit one.
Yeah.
That was my favorite, dude. And it, for the same reason as the dick on my forehead. Like, if you walk around, you've got, there was bold and loud shit and fuck on my hands. You know, like.
Yeah.
And I just skated through life for 10 years. Like, never held me back. Most people would have a lot of trouble, like, making a living, like, finding a job with shit and fucking tattooed on their hands. You know, like, it never once created a problem with me. You know, sometimes I was going to be on live television and I had to, like, cover it up.
Yeah.
I would change it to ship book. Like, with a Sharpie, I'd go over it. And,
it's punk rock, man.
yeah, like, so, I mean, that was kind of annoying and a little bit. I had to cover it up sometimes, but very minor, dude. Like, it didn't hold me back in life. And the reason why it was my favorite, it's a sad as fuck story, but my mom, she had suffered an aneurysm on October 10th of 1998, which left her, she survived it, but like it left her heinously disabled, both physically and mentally. And because she was so physically disabled and unable to move, like during a period of time when she was being cared for by the ex-second husband that, I don't know, he just didn't take good care of her, and she wasn't moving around, and she got bed sores. And bed sores are the most horrific fucking thing, and they're so unfair because they happen to people who are by definition helpless. They can't move, and like what it is like, because you don't move for like such a long time, like pressure on one area just until like it just dies, and then like a big hole just, like my mom, it was like the size of like a fruit, was just like a hole like in her butt cheek with all like the nerves, and she was just like crying in pain, and what it was just. Dude, like nothing will fuck you up more than hearing your mom like cry in agony, like every day, like that. That's the most trauma that I've ever been through in my life. And she survived that way for 5 years. And then ultimately, like, we were at the end. She was in the hospital with a do not resuscitate order on the bottom of her bed. Like, if anything, I don't do anything to let her die. That's what do not resuscitate means. And it was like, what do you do? So I came in, I had just, the tattoos on my knuckles were like still bloody. And I walked into my mom's hospital room, and I knew it's do not resuscitate. Like, this is the end. And like, what do you say? Like, my mom and I were close too, man. Like my sister was close with my dad, and I was close with my mom. Like I took after my mom.
I see.
And like, I walked in, and I'm like, what do you even say? And so I didn't know what to fucking say. Hey, mom, so like this is it, huh? Like, like I walk into her room, and I walk up to her, and I go, hey, ma, check out my new tattoo. Right? Like, and I hold up my knuckles to her, and she like looks, and she like squints, and she goes, shit, fuck. And this like pained like giggle. She'd fucking go, and then she said again, shit, fuck. And then she goes, my son is a shit fuck. And it's like, it was literally the last time my mom ever laughed.
God,
the last time she ever laughed, like the last semblance of happiness, like the last like thing resembling joy that my mom experienced was laughing that I'm such a shit fuck that I have a tattoo. My son is a shit fuck. And she thought, and of course she thought that was funny. Like that was her, like I take after her, and so like she loved making fun of me, and she did it until the bitter end, and so the fact that those shit fuck tattoos, like, were they represented the last time my mom ever laughed, like the last time she ever had anything close to joy, like that made those tattoos. Like, that's my favorite. This is my. And then ultimately, like after I had it for 10 years, my mom died on November 7th of 2003. I got those tattoos in October of 2003. And I had them for more than a decade. And when I got out of sex addict rehab, and I was in this men's therapy group, all sex addicts, and like we would meet every week, and like really healthy therapy and stuff. And they were all like pretty successful guys, like in the group, like pretty wealthy. I was like probably the least wealthy person in the group. And one of them one night, it was at the end of 2013 or the beginning of 2014. The guy was like, the guy in my group, my therapy group, he says, "Man, I'm looking at your hands, and I gotta say, it just makes me sad." He says, "It just makes me sad." He says, I'm struck by the feeling that whatever it was that made you do that to yourself." This is a sad thing. He saw it as like a catastrophically self-destructive, like self-harming, like horrible thing that I did to myself. And I was like, oh, this, like, you know. And I told him the story about my mom laughing for the last time, and I went on to say like I've had these for 10 years. It never ever, like, I'm really proud that it's never held me back, you know. Like, and the same guy went on to say, wow, you know, this beautiful story about your mom. So it just goes to show that, like, you know, you just can't judge things. Like, you don't necessarily, like, what you think when you see something, it could be something totally different. He's like,
Yeah.
that was a beautiful story. But it was after that therapy session that night that I decided, I was like, wow, you know, like, I don't want to bum people out. You know, I don't want people to look at my hands and, like, be bummed. And I just felt like, I felt that whoever I was trying to impress with my knuckle tattoos, they never really cared. Like, when I got the shit, fucking, I'd planned it for a while. I was like, Ozzy Osbourne was my hero.
Yeah.
And because he was the gnarliest guy ever to walk the earth. Like, the gnarliest guy. And he had Ozzy tattooed on his knuckles. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to be gnarlier than Ozzy. I'm going to get the same kind of tattoos he's got, but it's going to be shit and fuck. Like, there's like an homage, like, to honor Ozzy and to, like, make Ozzy proud, because I took it even further. I'm even gnarlier.
Yeah.
I got to show it to him.
Yeah.
I met him one time and I showed him.
What do you say?
What did he say? He said, but yeah, after that therapy group, I was like, yeah, dude, like, whoever I was trying to impress, they never cared. Like, it's cool, I did it, you know, like, and now I just felt that they had outlived their usefulness, and I was ready to part with them.
Yeah.
So I got them lasered off.
Yeah.
Bittersweet, because I fucking love those tattoos. Now I got the dick on my forehead, and same thing, like, it's really pushing it as far as outliving its usefulness.
Yeah.
Its usefulness is really wearing thin.
No, that's great.
All right, we got to be wrapping it up pretty soon, huh? How many more questions?
There's one more question.
One more.
Yeah. That was a beautiful story. I can't believe I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't really run around telling that story a whole lot.
Yeah. All right. Question number 20 comes from Winter. I'm just going to spell it out. WINTRKAELTE. Sorry, I didn't want to mess up your name. Question 20. He asks, how does one cope with the finiteness of life?
The finiteness.
The finiteness.
Okay. How does one cope with the finiteness of life? I feel that I can only interpret this question as opposed to answer it. Maybe I can't even interpret it. Maybe I can only react to it.
Yes.
Is life finite? Like, finite. The synonym for finite. Like, infinite is forever, like abundant, like it never runs out. Infinite. Finite is the opposite of infinite. Finite is so little that it's not even there. Like, it's tiny. It's like scarce, like to the point of like the opposite of infinite.
Yeah.
So finite, like limited, you know, a limited amount, like the tiniest amount. Is life finite? I don't know that it is. You know, like, it's like saying the last 10 years just flew by. I can think of 10 years ago and think that, wow, it's amazing that time went by so fast. But I could also very easily think of it in like, holy fuck, 10 years is a goddamn long time. You know, everything is so relative. Everything's so relative. And, like, I don't even think life is finite, man, you know? Especially not, like, in, like, my understanding of, like, spirituality and like, my belief in the reality that we are not human beings having, like, this experience. Like, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And the human experience is, for sure, go ahead, call it finite. The spiritual being is not. There's nothing fucking finite about that at all.
Yeah.
And the finiteness of life. Dude, I'm fucking 50. There's nothing finite about 50 fucking years. You know? There's nothing fucking finite about 50 goddamn years. And like Jackass came out when I was 26.
Wow.
So like imagine that. Like I'm 52 this year. So what, like now next year is the year when like I like for half of my entire life, like go down the street, like everyone knows who I am. I mean, maybe that's an overstatement, you know?
Yeah.
But goddamn, like way back in, I remember when we were filming Wildboyz in 2003 in, maybe we were in Indonesia or something. Maybe it was 2004. I don't know. But like we're filming with an indigenous tribe doing like some kind of fucking fire dance with like dudes who live in like, you know, like they're not like dressing up like for the fire dance. Like they're like indigenous, you know, like.
Yeah.
And this fucking indigenous cat like points at my arm and he's like, "Afro-tutu, Afro-tutu." And I'm like, and I realized I put it together. The guy's saying, pointing at my off-road tattoo from the Jackass movie. Afro-tutu.
Ah,
It's
okay.
like this fucking. I'm like, dude, I'm on like a fucking island in Borneo,
Yeah.
like in Indonesia, in the middle of fucking, you know, doing a fucking fire dance on a remote island with a fucking indigenous tribe.
Yeah.
And the fucking guy's calling out the off-road tattoo from the Jackass movie. I was like, there's not a corner of the goddamn globe that like I could ever hide on. You know, like that was when the truly global nature of like what like the reach of whatever fucking
That's insane.
I was a part of, you know, like I was like I'm a part of something that is completely covered the goddamn globe.
Yeah.
You know, and that was like that was definitely more than 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There's nothing fucking finite about 20 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't answer that question. I just reacted to it. You could say it all happens in a snap of a moment of now, and you know, in the book Conversations with God, like, is there? And you know, he asks God, is there any such thing as like an end? So like, does the universe ever end? Like, does it ever like?
Yeah.
No, it does not ever fucking end.
Yeah.
It's infinite. And turns around and asks God next, like, does anything ever get end on the small side? No, like, God reports that if you take something and cut it in half, what you're left with, you can cut it in half. And then that, like, there's never a point when you can't keep cutting it in half.
Yeah.
You've never reached, like, so both ends, like, it never stops. And you could have an entire universe exist in, like, the nucleus of an atom that has, like, a fucking particle, like, orbiting it.
Right.
Yeah, like, there's no, like, scale. There's no such thing as small or big. So there's no such thing as finite. You can keep cutting finite. You know, you can cut it in half. Like a million more fucking times, you can still cut it in half. So yeah, it's a very subjective concept, finiteness.
Yeah.
But I like the question.
Yeah.
All right, dude. This was a healthy exercise, I think, man.
Yeah.
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 To the people who stuck around, man, I always say it, like, I love you. And I always mean it. I love you. It was important that we did this, man. Like, the podcast has felt like a chore a lot.
Yeah.
And this didn't feel like a fucking chore, not one bit.
Yeah. It felt like
How long has it been going?
an hour 46.
Sick. All right. Let's call it a day, man. I fucking love you, dude. Thank you for this.
I love you, man. Thanks for having me with you on this journey.
Yeah, dog. All right, folks. This is the outro of the episode, and I have Lux on speakerphone because she has some thoughts about how I characterized our relationship status.
You sneaky guy.
Yeah. I again can speak for Lux a little bit in that she says, hey, you made it all about me pursuing my career and not about me saying, hey, look, I need you to step up more in the relationship. Like, I might have gone a little easy on myself in that regard.
Well, I just think in general it was a little lacking of like the emotional side of our relationship and more focused on both of our careers. And, it's just hard I appreciate you to talk about it and kind of make the announcement. And, it's just hard to have somebody else speak for you. And, you just want to be able to like get out there, but there's just so much involved, and it's a difficult thing across the board. And I'm super appreciative of you, and I feel like you articulated things a lot better than I could have. And I just texted you that
I saw.
I listened to it again, and yeah, you did such a great job, and thank you for giving me so much praise in it as well.
Well, I mean,
I appreciate you.
I spoke from the heart, and I really am like super grateful that we can be in a position where we talk on an almost daily basis, and we end every call saying I love you. And I mean, I really do mean that. And I love I love what we're doing with the Radical Ranch. Like, I love everything about what's going on. And okay, it's that's maybe not accurate. I just I appreciate you.
No, it's nice. For as difficult, as all of this is, like, it is really nice that you and I are in a good place. Like, thank God for that, because this is really hard. And
I agree.
I'm grateful that you and I are cool.
Yeah. I agree. All right. With that, I love you, everybody. I love you for sticking around to the end of the episode. And God damn it, I got jet lag. I got to crash. All right. Love you.
Love you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.